The Earth is very flat.
Good evening, afternoon, everybody. It's Thursday, May 13th, 2021. This is Brandon, host of Brandon's Show. What's going on out there? Beautiful day here in the United States. It's like 75 degrees out. Gorgeous, sun shining. Really nice. Good thing I got a window. Who we got in chat tonight? Paul Krusjank. What's up, man? Ian Adams. John Watson. Gadget Inspector, Flat for Life, I Call BS. I like that name. Dan Morris. Let's see. Who else? Cosmonaut. And Helen Degenerates, Taboo, and Enigma, and Bill G. First again, the streak continues. Sounds good. Thank you, Flat for Life. All right, what's going on? How you guys doing tonight? Good? You like that title, Gadget? Yes, sir. Thought it was fitting. We'll talk about that tonight for sure. I don't want to encourage anybody to watch the video, but I'll show you a couple things I found particularly interested, and we'll get the reaction of the panel, which is exactly what Ranty wanted, I'm sure, in part. So we're giving him what he wants. That's all right. It's all fun, I guess. Let's go into the Discord and see who's in there. I see a bunch of green lights lighting up, so they might be busy.
Take that check all the way to the bank and cash it.
I don't see if there even needs to be a problem here.
I have a very important question. Creel, what color are you?
You can get triggered by color all you want, dude. You can leave me out of it. The spiraling over color, Lael, is embarrassing. It's been months. You've been spiraling and triggering over text chat color.
Yeah, but Crit,
not just here, on YouTube also. Oh, look, he runs away.
Oh,
little baby.
Text chat color, bro.
Yeah, he comes in here to give me a quick spiral and then runs. I feed off these losers.
You scared Lil away, man. What the fuck?
I know, I feed off these losers, man. They're so pathetic.
Shit. Come back, Lil.
Don't you realize that you have been actually spiraling about text colors and what?
No, I've got nothing to do with text chat color.
And
no, I've got nothing to do with text chat.
And you just do petty shit and then you play.
No, I've got nothing to do with text chat color. I had nothing to do with it at all. I had no admin perms.
So you keep up the topic by.
No, I had nothing to do with it.
About, yeah. That's
no, I had nothing. No, I had nothing to do with text chat color.
What the fuck are you guys talking about?
This is
the only reason anyone is talking about text chat color is because of you. So
no, not because of me. I have nothing to do with text chat color.
Well, that's what you keep telling yourself every time.
No, nothing. I have nothing to do with text chat color.
When Crit is lying, it's when he's speaking.
So then I just copy what I say. That's how big of a fan you are. You actually repeat the verbiage I use.
Hey, Crit, I'm not sure why
you can't even think for yourself. That's how big of a loser you are. Yeah, and Brandon just
I'm actually thinking for myself because
no, you can't. You can't think for yourself.
You keep invoking the baseline.
No, you can't think for yourself. You're that dumb. That's why I set baseline for you. Brandon, the text chat color comes from
you can
when the Pinkertons.
Which one is calling the other names?
When the Pinkertons ran,
you're calling me names.
When the Pinkertons ran off Stacy,
from that which one is being the dishonest.
Yeah, look at the ones who's constantly overtalking. After someone asks a question about text chat color.
Yeah, but
look how triggered you are. He's so triggered by text chat color. He can't even let the story come out. Look how triggered he is. He's that triggered by text chat color.
Are you triggered, Lori, or are you just?
No, I'm not.
Are you just pretending to be triggered? Why would you pretend, dude?
Listen, I want to know how I get a cool text chat color.
Yeah, what's up? Oh, you want to know how you get a cool text chat color? You gotta hook the server up. That's how.
Oh, you do a.
Or have you got text chat envy? Is that what you've got? Text chat color envy.
Boost.
So then
I don't have anything like. I'm just following the conversation and seeing because Crit always brings up.
Oh, me, Crit. Okay, yeah. So you blame me?
Nothing to do with it. Well.
Oh, me. So I'm the reason why you do what you do. You're not the reason for anything, are you? Yeah, think about that.
I am the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I'm moving on. Like you haven't seen me engage you like in weeks. So I'm moving
I'll
on.
keep
So
hearing your
and you
voice
keep
then.
invoking old baselines because you
The
cannot
baseline is
move
going
on.
to remain. The baseline is set because that's how
Yeah,
I'm going to
because
interact with you.
yeah,
You
because
set the
you
baseline,
don't
not
want to
me.
move on with the conversation. So the conversation dies because you want to stay to old baselines that were based on lies to begin with.
No, that was you who set the
Which is
baseline.
why people are now
I
blocking
hope
you
we
or
can have
ignoring
3
you
hours
because
of this, Brandon. This will be
you keep
great.
going back to old shit that has had no relevancy when it came up.
We
Yeah,
were last
Crit
week.
destroys one globalist at a time. One triggered snowflake. Come on, Lael, come in here, destroyed. Like Lori, come in here, destroyed.
I mean, if you want to make up a story that you're destroying me, that's
Oh,
fine.
shut up.
But if you other
Yeah,
guys,
no, you did.
really
No,
seriously
you
think
did.
that
It's your fault. No, it's not my fault. It's your fault. Seriously, God, just tell him to piss off, and Laurie just piss off. There you go, solved.
All
But
right,
that's kind of what
guys.
I offer
I
him.
mean, none of you guys, you don't even have an idea of the history. Like if you seriously don't see that Grit is just
Seriously, don't
he
care,
invited-
Laurie. That's
You just
really
can't
where
stop.
we're coming from.
Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, you guys
No
troll
one bel-
constantly. What's the problem? I don't understand.
No
Yeah.
one believes your bullshit about me, dude. No one, when you did it on Ladies' Night, no one believed you. When you did it on Gem's Panda server, no one believed you. You're just spouting shit,
Those
dude.
are actually, by the way, lies. But that's
No,
fine.
your mic was shut off. CB, who doesn't even like me, thought you were so retarded, he shut your mic off. Said, enough of this idiot.
Well, you're
Think
just
about
cherry
that.
picking what you're just
When
cherry
CB
picking
had
what
a
happened.
choice,
That's
Captain
like a
Bullshit,
micro.
right? Captain Bullshit
That's-
had a
that's-
choice of
yeah.
whose mic to shut off.
Well, I
He
can
shut
barely answer
yours
your
off.
trigger now because you're over talking me. So
He shut your mic off because that's how retarded you are. You're so retarded. He did not want to hear one more word you had to say.
So again, which one is calling the other retarded? Because I'm not saying you're retarded.
Dude, they called you retarded, not me.
No,
He
no,
even
you need
gave
to go
you
to
a role.
Oh my God, it's still going.
He gave you a role, autistic
I can't
retard.
stop listening.
I don't need to go to the name calling, so that tells which one is being honest here. Like if you guys want to back up Crit,
no,
being
I don't
the
need
most
that.
honest
letting you guys
I-
get this out of your system. That's all.
I can defend myself.
I
I
think our
don't
care
need to back
factor's
you up.
fairly low, Laurie, but yeah, if you need to get it out.
I don't have anything in my system. I'm just saying that Crit.
Well, Crit.
If you guys want to back up Crit, then you're.
I don't need backing up.
Don't
Back
drag
him
us
up.
into your nonsense. Yeah, we don't even know what's going on. You've already told us that.
I mean, I know that Crit drives you guys crazy.
Well,
I did have
he's-
one
More
thing
power
I
to
needed to bring up, which was Crit. We need to clarify something about who was saying that they were going to knock your teeth down your throat. One of the people I have banned from the server for.
Yeah, that was shady. The problem with WS is he was engaging with me at the same time and adding fuel to the fire. He's saying I was the one being uncivil, as the other guy I was talking to was talking about a bounty on my teeth.
Okay, that's what I remember you saying.
Bounty on your teeth?
Just to clarify, WS did not say that he was going to knock your teeth down.
No, but what he was doing was he wasn't calling the guy to task who was doing it, and he was coming after me, adding fuel to the fire.
Okay.
So I grouped both of them into a group and said they were both the problem. Because he thought he could keep going because he's got a moderator on his side.
Sorry, but now you're actually lying about what happened because the words that you literally said were that he was also.
No, I'm not lying. You're full of shit. You're full of shit.
I'm just bringing the truth.
No, you're full of
if
shit.
You cannot handle the truth. Maybe that's a you problem.
No, you're full of shit. Is what you are.
We can go to the live stream.
Did you say there was
go find the someone wants to, if it's that important, go find the timestamp.
Yeah, this is. I'll tell you exactly what I said.
I mean, I can go
You
to
can
the
try to
video and I can
wordsmith it.
paste the exact
You can
words.
try to
that you like,
wordsmith it, pretend to
put
play
exact
victim
there.
status,
Okay.
but it ain't gonna work here, dude.
I can see that you're
Your
being
bullshit ain't gonna
you're
work.
panicking
Well,
now, Chris,
how about Crit just
because you
clarify?
don't
He
want to
just
face the truth
clarified,
yet.
though. He just clarified, Lori.
Yeah, but he's
I clarified
clarifying
it
was
multiple
actually a lie
times.
because it was dishonest and he was not presenting the words honestly. So I'm just here for the truth.
I
Oh.
clarified
I
it
can
multiple
agree
times.
instead of
and he
because
still
we
won't
want
get
to
it.
presents
work
his
on video.
evidence, then that will determine whether he was lying or not, won't it?
I just want to know how much was the bounty for your teeth.
It's really
I
not
guess it
that
was like
hard. Yeah.
$200 per tooth or something like that.
That's
Oh,
it.
I mean, I can
shit,
go to
man.
the video and get the exact words.
Where you at? You in the U.S.? You could get on a flight for a
Yeah.
couple $100.
It's not bad.
Just kidding, Crit.
Yeah, I know. It's like, can you imagine being that triggered by me that you'd want to like say something that bizarre, and then a moderator who won't even admit they're a moderator to begin with, can't even be honest about that, then to pile on and pretend I was the one being uncivil, not the guy who's talking about busting people's teeth out for profit.
Well, anyway, so the situation I think has been taken care of. We'll listen to it. But
Keep a close eye on the situation.
I'm just thinking, like, one good hit, I'm going to pick up $1,000.
I know, for
Yeah.
real. You got like 32 teeth in your
Where do you live? Crit, where do you live, man?
There's like 32 teeth in someone's mouth. And it's like, if this guy doesn't have two pennies to put together, though. This dude shady, this general
There's a
shady.
pickup truck.
you knock your own
I
teeth
know.
out, Crit. Make mint yourself, man.
I could catfish him.
WS is protesting on chat.
No, I know.
Of course he is. He's been crying all day. This WS dude has been crying all day long. I said, join the VC today. Let's talk about it man
Never
on man.
will.
One-on-one,
He
dude.
never
Me and
will.
you.
Yeah, you love
sort
it.
all our differences. The problem is he wants to stay in text chat so he can take things out of context and play stupid. He never wants to have an actual conversation. There's always layers of bullshit on everything he posts, and he adds layers of bullshit to everything you post. I made a list of
We all
actually
know that.
I made a list of tons of things that he actually got wrong. And I said, here, and this is what you got. This is what I said. This is what you heard. This is what I said. This is what you heard. A whole list of them. And even still, he
I
won't.
refuse to engage him anymore in text.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'd be having a text thing with Roo here for with somebody else, and he just chips in. He always tries to butt into somebody else's discussion. He's just an absolute waste of time.
And that's what he
Jesus
did with
Christ.
Shady.
He's listening.
Yeah, I told
Who
him
cares?
to roast him.
Good.
I said if he doesn't show up, he's gonna get roasted.
Oh.
That's what he did with the me and the General Shady conversation. General Shady was going batshit, and I was just kind of playing along, just laughing. I'm like, yeah, whatever, tough guy. And then WS comes in and didn't know the full context probably, and just started siding
Yeah,
with
that's what he
with
does.
Shady. He just said Crit's the one being uncivil.
100%.
Never even looked to see what this General Shady guy was talking about. All he saw was
It's
Crit and somebody else debating in text chat. He'll just start throwing shit. Then he realized, oh fuck.
And let me guess. Then he spams you with a meme about the EQ mount. EQ mount proves every time. He's such a loser.
Angle to the moon. The way
That's
the moon
it.
looks.
EQ mount, angle to the moon. Yeah.
Has anyone done that experiment where you're looking at the moon and then you put your head between your legs and look at it upside down and it changes size?
No, that's a real thing, Chrissy?
Yeah, Dirk suggested it. Apparently, just a full moon. Yeah, as it's
I just
going
can't
down or
help
whatever.
giggling when you talk about have your head between your legs and you see the moon. That's just...
I'm sorry.
I'll have to try that.
Change. Yeah, Dirk said it on one of his shows.
Did anybody? SE came in yesterday and said about Ranty's channel. Did anybody watch that first
Yes.
thing? I watched it driving to work this morning. I nearly threw up in my mouth at the crap he was spewing.
The name of tonight's show, I don't know if you guys probably didn't see it because it's on YouTube, is Ranty the Master Baiter.
Yeah.
Because that's what he's
By the way,
doing.
guys,
He's trying to bait us.
Yeah.
I kind of have to interrupt because I did research on the grid topic. I don't want
Not
to
interrupt
defend
shit.
that, but
Yeah,
but
keep
Crit,
crying
if
about it.
you just let me
Adding
talk,
tears won't help
if you
you.
just let me
Hold
talk,
on,
this will
Crit.
take
Hold on.
less time. So I'm just pasting the timestamp into the
Okay.
side chat so that everyone
Okay.
can check for themselves what happened. And also, I took some exact words from there, and the exact words were, hold on.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for the
You have
distraction.
WS and Shady, that General Shady, talking about that they are going to do a GoFundMe for $20 for each tooth. I mean, $200 for each tooth someone can knock out of my mouth. So yes, that's a statement that WS and Shady were in cahoots, and he was an active part in planning the GoFundMe. So what Crit was saying earlier was a clear lie.
No, you're full of shit. I was
Huh?
talking about
No,
two
well,
people I
if
was
you don't
talking
like the
to.
truth, then I don't
Dude,
know.
you're so
That's
dumb.
that's a you problem.
You're
So
so dumb. You don't even
that's
hear.
me.
Listen to me.
I'm done.
I'll tell you what I said. Okay, sure. Get out here. Put yourself on mute.
And you guys can check it for yourself in the live stream, which I will post a link to.
Yeah,
Okay.
big. No one's gonna
All right.
believe you now.
Definitely priority number one.
Yeah, get right on that.
I'm on it.
We're
I'm
not
on
in
it,
the middle
Brandon.
of
I'm
a
on
live
it.
show or anything.
Yeah, I'm on it.
It doesn't even have to be about believing me, because you can
Just
just
stop
believe
coming
the words
back,
that are
Laurie. Just
saying.
go.
Yeah,
What-
go away.
We'll check it out,
Well, I
Lori.
can understand if it is.
Dude, you're
it's
so
an echo
stupid.
chamber
That's why I
and you-
set
Stop the
base
show.
for
We
you.
got to figure
I'm
this
just
out
here for
right
the
now.
truth.
Yeah.
for the
Oh
truth.
shit! All
Look,
right.
this is
I'm
why
go-
I
hey,
set a base
listen.
for
think
you.
changing his name means we won't know who it is.
I'm
Let
gonna
me get a
post
pizza. I'm coming over. We're
the
going to
link
figure it out.
in the YouTube chat. You guys go ahead and you can make up your own mind on the Crit v WS saga. Let me know what you think after you watch it tomorrow. Let me know.
Back to
tomorrow.
Ranty.
Yes,
Okay, back to
Ranty.
Ranty.
So I watched the video and I had much the same reaction. I was like, "What the fuck?" He is really
exactly.
owning this character, this new character. That's what I thought.
He loves it. He loves it. Yeah.
He's eating it up, man.
But it's cheesy. It's cheesy. Look, he's got the fly. He even says the words "a flying disc in space." Like
That's what stuck
nobody
out to
thinks.
me.
Nobody thinks it's that, you know. Like, and did you know? The other thing I noticed, Brandon, when he talks, he's exposing or giving little excerpts from Nathan Oakley and Sleeping Warrior and whoever. The one that he gives of himself is that moon picture, which to me was a really interesting choice of things that he kind of exposed himself on, whereas everyone else he made them look like absolute retards, whereas this thing of his own was pretty ambiguous. Most people wouldn't have a clue what that was even referencing, because it was only like 1 or 2 shows that he did 6 months ago where he said this thing, and most people wouldn't know what it was even about. But everybody else he made tried to make look stupid. Like, it's really a dishonest video.
And he's got this girl in the thumbnail and on the screen. Here, I'll share my screen so you guys can see what I'm looking at if you want. The thumbnail is of this woman with a tinfoil hat and a crazy look on her face.
I clipped that part yesterday when the video was posted by SE. And one of the first things he says in there, I had subtitles on and everything. He goes, "Yeah, a flying space pizza."
Yeah. I mean, is that
You guys gotta
is that
stop
what he
watching that.
thought when he was a flat earther? Did Ranty? He didn't think that, right? Was he
No,
playing a
didn't. No,
character
nobody
then or
does.
now? I can't figure it out.
You guys got to stop watching that bullshit, man. Shouts out to Crit.
No doubt. You didn't watch it then, Jeremy?
No, I don't watch.
Dude, you
Wilbur
got to
shit.
watch it.
It's nonsense.
You
Ranty ain't special in my book. He's just another Glober now. Whatever. Like I don't watch that bullshit.
That video is definitely proof of that. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he tells
Like,
this
what-
whole story about how he was brainwashed and lying to himself.
There's
and
more
how
money
he-
on the Globe side. That's all it is. There's more money. He's chasing the bucks.
we
I talked
suck
to him
people
yesterday, or the day
in.
before, for a couple minutes.
We're
I
a
talked
cult.
to him. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, Jeremy, go.
No, I was gonna say I talked to him yesterday, or the day before, and he thinks this is something different. This drop that he's seeing with the mountain behind Blackpool, like he thinks that drop is different from the millions of other times we've been shown things dropping optically in the distance. I don't know, something about it's over water or over land, or I don't know. I don't think it's anything different though. It's the same drop, same 8 inches per mile squared, nothing different.
So here's the thing. Just off that conversation, here's the thing. So he's been a mad baller, flatty for the last 5 years. He sees a picture that's changed his mind. You'd still be, I believe, most people would still be a little bit tentative. Okay, I'm a glober again now, but I'll just tread gently for a while and make sure I've made the right decision, make sure I haven't made a mistake. Be a little bit open-minded, but I think I'm a glober again. But this guy has gone to the effort. He's created a YouTube channel. He's generated a video just shit canning the flat Earth. Like this psychologically does not add up. It doesn't make sense. This is a play. Nothing but a play.
You know what I would do if I had some shit that I was thinking about hard? I'd show it to my peoples and be like, "Yo, what do you think of this?"
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I wouldn't
100%.
just analyze it by myself and make up. Make up your own mind, but I would definitely see what my peoples think about it. Like, hey, what do you think about this? I wouldn't just do it in seclusion and hiding and secrecy, and then come out one day like, aha, I'm a glober. You guys
Screw
are
you all. Yeah.
That's an echo chamber mentality, though. It's nice to do that, but also present it to the opposition to try to get.
You're
both
telling me
sides.
if you found some if you found some shit that might have made it look like it's not a globe, you wouldn't go bring it to other ballers before you just became a flat earther? You just be like, it looks like flat
I would do that as well as present it to flat earthers, and then I'd also do my own personal research. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You would show it to your peoples, you show it to the opposition. Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
What you wouldn't do is
What was
just
wrong
keep
with
it.
what Jeremy said about taking it to his people? Then BioDuel. Why did you
I was just
feel the
making
need
it
to
more
come in here and
specific.
criticize him and then call us an echo
Damn,
chamber?
Brandon,
'cause he
0
said
to 100
that?
real quick.
Huh?
Damn, relax, man.
No,
I didn't come
man,
in with
you're
that
a
energy.
fucking
Relax.
asshole, dude. Why did
Am
you
I?
just criticize him and say that we're in an echo chamber because he said he'd take it to his people? Why'd you say that?
Did I come in with this energy? Jeremy,
Why
did I offend you in any way?
Why did you say that?
I was being more specific.
Why did you acted like what I said was wrong, but you said you would do the same thing.
No, I was just being more specific in the way that
Why
you present
did you
evidence.
say that?
I mean, I could get to the end, right? I could.
Why did you say that?
Because it wasn't as specific, and the way that he presented it was in the way that you would present an argument. I mean, I could get to the end. You asked me a question, right?
That's why.
I'm not bringing that energy of negativity and insults, right?
Yes, you are. That's what I'm reacting to. You came in here with a sly
and I'm trying to
little
explain
fucking insult that you say with your nice little calm tone of voice that you think lets you off the hook for being a fucking asshole. That's what you're doing.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Now that we got that straightened out.
You're not close, dude.
Jesus. I mean, I would show it to the opposition, to my peoples. Let's see what everyone in the whole community has got to say on this before I make. And second of all, it's not even fucking definitive. It's the same shit we've been shown year after year. It's nothing new. It's the 8 inches per mile drop. Nothing's new because it's over land, over land, water, land, whatever the fuck it's over. Who? I don't know. I mean, the timing of him teaming up with conspiracy cats and this picture swaying his mind is pretty suspicious in my eyes.
I don't get why it matters if it's over land or water, then land, then water. Why he thinks that this is an important detail that makes this different.
I don't know.
I don't get it. So
It's bullshit.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe because he couldn't explain it away with the usual stuff that he used to explain it away with the atmospheric effect. I don't know.
But he was the biggest proponent of sinking. He was the biggest proponent of it. Barely.
Yeah, I'm real low.
Now you're better.
What up, Rob?
All right. I just wanted to ask BioDuel if he figured out what a water level is yet.
I didn't know you gave me homework. I didn't do more research into that specific topic.
Seriously, man, you seemed like you wanted to figure out what a water level was, and if meters was long enough.
No, so what the context of the discussion was is that you presented something that Ruhif put together, and I told you that I don't have the context or the explanation of what's going on, so I couldn't speak on it. That's what the context was.
Maybe you would have figured it out. That was yesterday. You got lots of time.
Well, it was Ruhif's information, right? So I would have to ask Ruhif what he's presenting in his information.
Those are just calculations.
Again, I don't have the context for that information, so I couldn't speak on it.
Yeah, all right. Good job.
I mean, I could bullshit the information, but it would just be bullshit that I'm giving you. So I don't want to do that.
I'm kind of here, but not really.
It was something about under 100 meters expected curvature, I think, and then it was a bunch of millimeter measurements or something. Again, I don't even know.
Oh, it's just the drop. Yeah, it's just the drop.
The calculated, right? It's not like those aren't applicable measurements. It's just the expected calculated.
Yes, expected calculated drop.
Okay.
What's the question though?
That'd be on Rob. I didn't present it or ask about it. Rob presented it in some way. You'd have to ask him.
Yeah, Rob.
You know what? I got a question
special?
I asked in Gems the other day. You guys got all these calculations and no measurements. I'm wondering how they calculated or did any kind of measurement or anything to get the amount of atmosphere that escapes Earth every day.
I
You
have
guys
no
know,
idea.
or
No, I have no idea either.
yeah, none of the Globers do. I'm guessing none of the flat earthers
do
do
you?
either. Maybe. No, I have
Do
no
you?
idea. No, I have no idea.
What the fuck why are you saying that to us then?
I was wondering if you guys knew.
Yeah, and then you go, oh, none of the Globers know. You don't.
None of the
So go fuck
Globers know.
yourself.
Yeah, find me a Glober that knows. I'll be
No,
in shock.
you find someone that knows.
I'm looking right now. That's why I asked
Okay.
you. All right.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna look too. I've never put any time into that. That's a good question.
I mean, I don't know how you would even measure it. You can't. How would you measure that?
Right. No. I agree. I couldn't even begin to postulate how. So that seems pretty interesting. Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's even a measurable thing.
As far as we
Do you
know.
not think it's irresponsible? Do you not think it's irresponsible of them to break through these barriers that are keeping our ecosystem in? Do you think it's right that they keep sending rockets up and through? And you know, if we, you know, our ecosystem is the way it works with the oxygen and the trees and moisture. Do you not think it's irresponsible to keep poking a hole through?
Do I think it's
poking a hole through what?
environmentally unsound to make rockets? Yes.
It's also environmentally unsound to drive vehicles.
Yeah. Exactly.
into
No, I'm not talking
sewage.
about that. I'm talking, you know, you brought up a thing about, which is quite interesting, that
What are we
if we're
poking
not
holes in?
in a
That's what I was wondering.
container, our atmospherics would be, you know, like you say, disappearing somewhere. Everything's just perfect.
Yeah, but you said we're poking holes in it, like in what exactly?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, we are contained for a reason, so that we can live and breathe. And if you're going poking holes through this atmospheric layer that we've got protecting us, don't you think that's irresponsible?
No.
I don't think it works.
You talking
like
about
that.
the ozone, Chrissy?
It's not really poking a hole.
Oh, I
It's not
don't
like a
know. I mean,
frigid-
I know we live under a dome
rigid.
and
I say
underwater,
frigid.
so, but these people that don't believe that believe that we're spinning and we've got all this atmosphere and gases and they can just fly off into space and go and land on other discs in the sky. You know,
shit.
You
what
see them
maybe
as
they
just-
are creating black, you know.
Yo, stop
No
poking
one's
holes in our
making
dome, guys.
anything.
Come
Yeah,
on.
sorry for poking holes in your dome.
Nobody question
Well, I
anything
apologize
that they
about
do.
that.
You got a nice dome up there. You guys are fucking punching holes through it every time you send one of these bullshit ass rockets up.
It just no,
So-
you know, it's
so
sort
she
of we
believes
know
that the
that
rockets are
they're only
getting
going
through the
across into
dome
the
then?
ocean, but the
So
fact
not
that
into the
they are
dome.
they're pretending they're going up, and you know, why is nobody questioning that?
So
You
hang
can
on,
see
are we
that they're going
through
to
the
the
dome
per-
or not going through the dome?
I just want to unpack one little part of that. It's like, so you believe that the rockets are actually punching through the dome and entering space, then, right?
No, I don't. No, I don't. My point is,
Oh, well, why was you,
the
the
fact
question was misleading.
they,
Sorry.
It makes people believe that they're going up through into space and going through the impenetrable barrier and through all this radiation. You know, why are they allowed to do that?
Well, Grim don't like it
You
because
know,
it's punching holes through his plasmoid field.
Yeah, you can't be messing around with my plasmids.
Yeah, Grim, fuck the dome, but not the plasma.
Yeah, don't fuck with my plasmoids.
Ain't nothing going to space. It's weapons testing. It's been weapons testing since the beginning. It's still weapons testing today. None of it is manned space flight.
Yo, I'm just
Right.
curious. Another question besides from the how do they measure how much gas escapes Earth? Do any of you guys have any video evidence of satellites being released that aren't going into the clouds?
That's a good question. Like real videos,
Been
though,
looking
not
for that.
cartoons.
Yeah, video footage of satellites being released, but they don't go into the clouds this time.
Doesn't the
Anyone?
ISS release some satellites when they take them up there?
I don't know. I haven't seen any video.
I think they
have
do.
any?
Again, it's on you to find it, but I'm pretty sure the ISS has released something.
Yeah, well, I mean, let me know if you guys ever come across anything. I've been looking.
What comes
for
to
it.
mind is
I'm not your fucking bitch. I'm not your bitch.
What comes to mind is that box-shaped satellite that seems to go by the ISS. I think it was.
That
Going
escalated
so
quick.
hard.
Look at it. A simple conversation about satellites turns into a cry.
I'm not your bitch,
Verbal
dude.
meltdown.
I can't Google shit for you.
I'm just saying, if you happen to come across anything, maybe send it our way. That's all.
Okay, so my advice would be to look for an ISS satellite launch where they take up stuff and then like throw them out the hatch.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea. If you ever come across that, let me know, please.
I don't think
I
that
will.
exists at
Thanks.
all.
I've seen one where it like floats out the top. Have you guys seen that one where it like? Oh,
Hang
it's
on.
really
Oh
cheesy
God,
shit.
that's not. That's
I don't
not
believe that.
fucking-
Just
I
looks
meant
like
real,
a pizza
some real
box.
shit.
I don't know what that is.
That's a tin. That's like a baked bean can or some shit.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that one too, and then the Earth just disappears right at the last second of the video.
Look, a
like it
ball
shows-
of aluminum foil. Just threw it out. He's done
Yeah,
with
it's
his
like
burrito.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, a little burrito, like a wrapped up tinfoil burrito, and it leaves the ISS, and right the last second, the whole Earth just disappears.
Right, and you can see Taco Bell right on the edge of the.
Oh my God. Where are we going tonight? Anyway.
Take the bait, right?
Yeah, it got quiet when you said that. Like people were wondering, where are we going tonight?
Yeah. It suddenly occurred to them that what we're doing is absurd.
Ta-da!
So, I mean, seriously, I think that is a good question. How do they measure, calculate, figure out, however you want to phrase it, how much gas is escaping? Because they got it at what, 90 to 150 million metric tons a day?
Yeah, they just realized they were wrong. Like not long ago, right? There was like some other plasma recombination stuff that they just realized is also happening at a much higher rate. This is brand new, like a month old or whatever. And
Yeah,
so it's
I'm looking at
there's a lot more loss and gain going on than they ever
How could
imagined.
it be? How could it be escaping into the newly remembered further boundary for our atmosphere, which is beyond the moon, way beyond the moon?
Well, see, the plasmasphere isn't so much a boundary. It becomes gradually ionized as it gets out there, and then it's not. You know what I mean? So it's like there's like it's really complex the plasma stuff. It's not like some
So
homogeneous
is something
shit.
escaping, or is
No,
it?
they would be more like
Well, Elijah made a good point. If Earth's atmosphere is
microelectron
past the
currents and shit.
moon,
You sound
how the
drunk,
fuck do they
Jeremy.
measure that? Where is this? Do I? Am I lagging?
It's not his fault.
Anyone hear that?
Am I lagging still?
Oh, it's in the
Yeah, you did. It's done now.
You were roboting and sounded incredibly drunk.
Yeah, Ruhif, now the like intoxicated whisperer. He can tell how intoxicated someone is just by their voice.
He was roboting a little bit and sounded incredibly drunk.
He knows he's not drunk.
Where is the point past? How high up does a gas molecule have to get for it to be considered escaping Earth's atmosphere? Do we even know
I have
that?
no idea. What does Google say?
I don't know, man. If you ever find out, let me
Okay,
know
so
though.
why are you
Yeah,
asking
Jeremy,
me?
I'm looking at it right now. They talk about particular kind of escape mechanisms. There's Jeans escape, hydrodynamic escape. Then there's some non-thermal escapes. And right now, I'm looking at how they look at other planets with how they determine the atmospheric loss, and it's something called the Lyman alpha line absorption, is what it's what they refer to it as. But I'm trying to do more research to understand and
Yeah.
then layman break
Sounds
it
like
down.
a crock of shit already.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
come across,
Plus, they
if you
literally
come
just
across what the
discovered.
altitude is, like what's the altitude to where the gas has to pass through to be considered escape?
It
They just
probably has
dis-
lots to do with
That's
escape
true.
velocity, so it might not depend on altitude, but more so its velocity at a particular altitude. But I don't
So
know.
we could have,
Again, I'm trying to
yeah.
research this.
All right.
This
all
new
right, I won't hold
discovery
your
I
feet
can
to
tell
the
you
fire
guys
then.
about in a second. This new discovery that I can tell you guys about in a second might help answer some of those questions. And they discovered plasma hurricanes above the or a plasma hurricane above Earth over the polar region, and then they suspect that this is probably ongoing on a lot of the other planets now that they're realizing how obvious and the mechanism should have been to them before. But
There's a
it's another
plasma
one of those
tornado above the polar. Which polar region?
hurricane actually,
Yeah, which
where it rains
which
electrons. Northern
which polar
pole,
region?
North pole, I think. I'm really not sure.
The only
If you had
pole.
said South Pole,
I'm thinking
if you
North
said
Pole.
South Pole, I was gonna have Brandon ban you.
I wouldn't have said South Pole anyway, even if it was a South Pole. No, but seriously, I know somebody's Googling that right now because I can't, right? Hey, kitty, how'd you slip past me? Get back in the house. You're a creep.
I will Google it. I've got Google.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
So
it's an interesting topic, and it's the stuff that the narrative ballers, the standard narrative ballers, hate to hear about because it's obviously telling them things about their already known universe that wasn't already known. So they like to think that they know everything already, and then when this new shit comes up like this, it's counterproductive to their standard narrative because it obviously now, and it asks why. Why is there something that was right over our head this whole time, so unnoticed and so close to us, and we're trying to figure out, act like we know what's going on with the rest of the fucking universe.
No doubt.
And we don't even
I'll
know
tell you
what the
why,
fuck's
'cause when
going
it
on in
comes
our
to
own
the sky-
backyard.
Yeah, I'll tell you
Go
why.
ahead.
Because when it comes to how the sky works, they're just making shit up as they go along.
Yeah.
Right? This plasma hurricane
Seems like
tornado thing might not even be real. You don't know. They're just making the shit up as they go.
They're totally making it up. It's just a contest of who can make up the most intricate and plausible bullshit possible and get as many people
here's
as
the
they
problem
can
with
believe.
them making that up. Here's the problem with them making that up, right? It's counterproductive to all of the dark matter and dark energy research. It makes everything very simple and not needed for no more question for, keep pumping all this money that could be going into helping the homeless or whatever. You know what I mean? Or
I'm sorry. Where do they do dark matter and dark energy research other than on paper?
In every college and shit, somebody's trying to do dark matter, dark energy research. CERN.
Yeah, there's a
fucking,
creative
they
writing
spend hella money.
section at all universities.
Yeah, so there's, but absolutely, there's a lot of funding that goes into this stuff. Grants that are given to people who do studies on it and try to discover the missing baryons and all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So there's that. And if that would be pretty much washed away, if we were like, oh, well, the answer was much more simple. It was 3 dimensions with plasma and Markov currents and shit, So.
Does any of that help us have children?
Yeah, I'm having one in August. My plasmoids did it.
So this says space hurricane of plasma spotted above Earth's North Pole. Spotted.
How do
And then
we
they've
miss
got
that
this
all these
picture of
years?
this giant fucking hurricane. They just spotted. Oh shit! Did you see that over there? Oh whoa! There's a plasma.
How do we miss that
hurricane.
all these years?
Well, it's not really lit up. That's why they had to detect it, through the raining down of the electrons over after a solar event. There was a higher density of plasma, and it formed itself into what looks exactly like a galaxy, which is why we say these are scalable events. That these plasma entities, they take on the same shape and they're scalable at all sizes. So what you see as a galaxy is now right there on the top of the North Pole because it's a particular type of current, of electric current, that plasma self-organizes itself into.
Whoa.
And it does it in the laboratory too, into small shit. So this just goes to show that the electric universe, stuff has a lot more merit than these fucking standard narrative jerk-offs like to pretend it does.
Oh, I have
and
no
they're
doubt.
ignoring the shit
How
out
did
of
we
this
miss
shit,
a plasmoid hurricane above the North Pole for the past? I mean, how did it just start, or has it been going forever?
Well, they found it in 2014 or some shit, right? But they just they studied it the whole time before they tried to make an announcement about it, because obviously it's so against the standard narrative. You really got to be careful in coming out as a person who's given credit as a top scientist and shit. You don't want to come out and just say some sideways shit that it doesn't agree with everybody else, because you're going to get obviously marginalized and kicked out of the group, the club of
Right.
Oh yeah, if you go against the paradigm and the mainstream narrative, you're getting blackballed, kicked out of the club. You ain't getting no more grants, nothing.
Grim, didn't you talk about this before? Didn't you talk about this before, in which they didn't have the proper equipment, and then they had to wait for the equipment to, I guess,
No, we're talking
not be
about,
built, but like become better or more.
I was wondering
more,
when the establishment apologist was going to speak up. Go ahead.
No. I'm not speaking against it. I think I listened to Grim when he talked, so I remember him talking about something like this, where the equipment wasn't sensitive enough at that time, but as it became better, they were able to detect more and more and improve their research.
No, that's not what I said. But the part of what I said, the other part was that it was they were using the wrong equipment, right? They were using
Oh, maybe that's what it
magnometers.
was. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, it was magnometers instead of Langmuir probes. And Langmuir probes can actually, tell the species from ions to electrons and the entire density of both, while the magnometer clearly can only tell the direction of the magnetic flow against the, perpendicular current, assuming there's a current there, and it's not some sort of, wonky just magnetic field existing because of blah blah blah, which makes no sense. But I mean, obviously we know.
What's better, a
in
magnometer
reality,
or a F1? What's better, a magnometer or a F1 Tesla meter?
I have no idea what an F1 Tesla meter can do.
Bro, I thought you were with one of those electric universe people.
Yeah, but how am I supposed to know everything, though?
Bro, all this shit you don't know about an F1 Tesla meter? Come on, man.
Well, I mean, I don't know how to build one.
Honestly, I don't even know what it is. It was some shit Don Gio brought up one day.
But the Langmuir probe seems pretty sufficient. Just two rods being able to determine the electron density or the plasma density, interchangeable. If you know one, you know the other.
Well, that's interesting. So I'd love to hear more about the electric universe sometime. I really don't know that much about it. But
well, it pisses these guys off more than flat Earth, because
why hasn't the electric universe?
They have to just hate me.
Why hasn't the electric universe adopted the flat Earth yet, or do they have too many fish to fry, bigger fish to fry, kind of thing?
Well, they don't believe in no offense, man, but they don't believe in that.
We can still be friends, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm not part of that. I'm polarized, and I can't be your friend club.
Yeah, no doubt.
I used to be, though, because I fell for the old fucking, banana in the tailpipe.
Huh. So you think you get more? That's interesting. Biodual and Ruhif. Why does that bother you so much? The electric universe.
Does it bother me? I thought I was asking him pertinent questions.
Does it bother you?
I thought that I mentioned that I had listened and remembered what he said from a while ago, and I was asking further questions to learn more.
Okay, so
maybe not Biodual.
Is that what you're saying?
Maybe not Biodual specifically, but they do get heated at Grim over in Gems when he's.
I would agree. The channel does. The channel gets heated when Grim talks about it, but I wouldn't say that I specifically do, and I wouldn't speak for Ruhith, but me. No, it doesn't piss me off.
No, I don't have a problem with him at all, guys.
Huh.
Normally. I mean, the chiming in. Sometimes he chimes in when they're all doing that, and I end up snapping at him as well because, I don't fucking...
Bio, it's a good thing you ain't got beef with Grim, because we will put a bounty out on your teeth.
Yeah, I don't remember the last time I even talked to you, Grim. To be honest, I feel like it's been a long, long time.
It's probably been a couple months, about a month.
Yeah,
Because that's when we talked about this. That
quite possibly. Yeah.
could have been 6 weeks, maybe.
5.5.
How am I going to remember? I'm just a pot farmer.
I think the only times that we've ever had like problems with each other is just talking about like COVID shit and then studies on that. But outside of that, I don't think we've ever really had a problem. I've been pretty interested in the electric universe stuff because I know nothing about it, so there's no way I can like refute it if I wanted to. That's why I try to learn and ask questions.
You're all about that shallow Earth, right, Bio?
Shallow Earth forever, dog.
What's shallow Earth?
The shallow Earth doesn't depend on the Earth's shape. It's just a shallow ocean. That's all.
So what is it, Grim,
yeah,
that do you think
swallower.
pisses Globers off about the? What is the difference? You know, the
To be
substantive
honest,
difference.
a lot of the people that I use for my arguments are actual Nobel Prize winners and shit.
But
And
that's
you know
when
what I
they
mean?
come out
And
with the
they're-
argument that they got this Nobel Prize disease that
That's all
made
they
them go
got, though.
crazy, and
Right.
the fame got to their head, and they think they get Dunning-Kruger all, but they go from
What?
Nobel Prize winner to
Yeah,
Dunning-Kruger.
it's a
It's some kind of
crazy
weird.
asshole. Yeah,
It's some kind of
but
weird
then
Nobel Prize laureate thing, because as soon as they get fame and notoriety, they can start researching anything they want, and they'll get grants for whatever they want. So they'll find out some dope ass shit that goes against the mainstream paradigm. That's when they start calling him a lunatic, and they get blackballed. Oh, he went nuts.
Oh, that's hilarious, man.
Yeah, bro,
Exactly.
it's fucking ridiculous.
And a lot of these guys are like, they currently do work for NASA and stuff right now. Sorry about that.
He can't handle it.
Yeah, he had to do that. That's a priority.
Yeah, I fell off. Yeah. But yeah, they currently do stuff for the people that they throw in your face as well. So it's like, it's it's kind of like using their own, because I've got professors of electrical engineering who taught at colleges that, these guys went to. That really pisses them off. Yeah. So it's not as easy to just go, oh yeah, crazy idiot, blah, blah, blah. You have to actually try a little bit to argue with those, electric universe stuff. And you see them all the time too. These guys in gyms, they like to straw man the arguments as much as they can, or simplify and marginalize them, or try to scramble up the idea of what it is that's trying to be conveyed. And it makes me, that's why I say this shit, and I get all like, like these guys are just weirdly like shills, like a lot. Like I feel like it's a shill bin where, maybe there's a couple real shills or that'll frequent.
Bro, if you want to,
but the rest are followers.
Hold on, I want to hear the rest of what he said.
All right, my bad.
But I think the rest would be followers as to because they're not only shills but they're influencers. Psychologically trained to influence people in certain ways.
Yeah.
And with 3 or 4 of them in a group, you can influence a lot more people than one person can influence a lot of people. So a group of people can show what socially is right or wrong to somebody who's insecure about social, cues and stuff like that. So these guys rule these rooms like this,
right?
And
why
they're not
though?
afraid to use-
What is the motivation, and who is
Well, the
behind
more-
it? Because I'm pretty sure that's what's going on to some extent.
This is a good question. 'Cause I think about that a lot too. I think to speculate, I think maybe it might have. It's like if I was to rule the world or whatever, and I'm trying to disseminate information or keep people busy while I do something else, then and I've got endless resources. I'm gonna stick a bunch of fuckers in the room like that to just do that very thing. Make people who are coming up with outside ideas feel insecure. Tie a bunch of obviously ridiculous ideas to some of these outside ideas that have merit, so that they all look ridiculous in the eyes of the public. And so I can keep control of what's going on around me by keeping people confused enough and socially or busy, constantly busy. They're not really doing anything else other than letting all of this other stuff, COVID measures, all this stuff happen to them. So if they can get, it's a percentage. They know they're not getting everyone this way. So they have a lot of different tools to use to keep other pockets of people in their own personal domes all busy doing their own stupid shit that has nothing to do with bettering their lives.
Graham, can I say something? Because you actually posted that on my server the other day, talking about that to my comment that James is a shill den. And
yeah,
I was exactly saying how me and you would go back and forth to talk about the virus and everything else and how they don't exist. And we would just get personal attacks, literally every single time. And I think that's the point. The more they personally attack you to try to tear you down, break you down, so you have nothing else to say anymore, because they actually feel like we're targets. I mean, those words have been used when I left the server one time, and Crit knows this. They said, "Oh, we took out a target." These people don't want like me and Graham and Jeremy and all these people speaking from a personal level and giving their opinion, because guess what? People will listen. So they shut us up.
A target. They've used that word before. Target.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
Target. They took out a Target when they took me out, supposedly.
Yeah,
I
that's
heard about
why.
that.
That's why I can tie that back to the text chat color. That's why they're still spiraling over text chat color, because I raised the point. Because when they took Stacy out, they said target acquired, target hit, target destroyed, and I said this is what the Pinkertons are doing. They're not
Well,
here
they're trying to
about.
pretend like.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry,
Greg.
Crit. I'm sorry, dude. I get excited sometimes. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
No,
I'll hold it.
that's the whole thing. Like somehow I was worried about text chat color when I was just saying no. So then Gem Panda removed that role from the server, and they can't blame him. They can't go after him. So they got triggered by me, and they're still spiraling to this
True.
day. That's 3 months later. 3 months later, they're still spiraling over something Gem did, and they want to blame me about it.
Yo, real quick. Grim, I tried to jump in. Grim was speaking of the straw man. And if you want to see the straw man of the century, go watch QE's Numpty clip with Jem. We were talking about rockets in a vacuum, and Jem just straw man the shit out of us, man. It was ridiculous.
Oh, he's good
They
at
love
that.
straw man.
Yeah.
Did you post it just now?
No. It's just the last one
Numpty.
on QE's channel.
One of
I don't know.
the
I don't even like the rockets in a vacuum argument, but I have to jump in because they straw man and do all these logical fallacies, and it's like, yo, you guys are not right here. But
Well, that's what
whatever.
took you, Jeremy. I agree. That's what took me so long to get to the bottom of that particular argument too, because even though I'm at a position where I might not agree with a lot of flat earthers, I wouldn't get to that position right away because the way that a lot of those guys were trying to argue it, you know, it seemed disingenuous and bullshit.
Yeah, it's very fallacious, highly fallacious.
That's one of the reasons
tactics.
I'm a flat earther, Grim, to be honest with you, is because I see these tactics being used, and it made me dig deeper and to wonder what the fuck is going on. Why are they acting like political operatives?
Same thing happened to me, but you know what I did was I flipped my same scrutiny, right? That same scrutiny I was having because immediately I was like, oh, okay, because people heard me 6 years ago. Well, maybe the Earth is a lot bigger. I wanted to find out for sure too, because I was like legitimately, you know, maybe the Earth is just a lot bigger. And people are seeing things they're not supposed to be seeing, blah blah blah. You know, but then I started seeing actual stuff from flat earthers that was obvious, like this is what the stars really look like. And then you know, these are some of the most popular flat earthers where a lot of these ideas would originate from, you know, and get viral on. And then I comment on there. And I was like, well, this is an accident because I can do this on my camera, blah, blah, blah. And the comment will get erased. And then they leave the video up. And I start realizing that these guys are liars, man. And so I started checking out, you know, being real. So it's like same on both sides. Like I find that, you know, Eric Dubay talking about things that are, you know, 200 miles away or some shit. We're 60 miles away only. You know, there was some weird stuff going on. And I was like, well, why is everybody lying about all this? And then I started to think, because this is all a psyop. Because both sides are actually the elite. Both sides arguing about this. And
well, they definitely got flat earth.
In my mind, remember, this is my opinion. I don't mean to insult anybody, I promise, because I know only the elite would be responsible for this, and we would all just be falling for it, talking about it. But in my opinion, I felt like there's so much other stuff going on that this was particularly a sidetrack motion, something to get us all busy doing nothing.
Well, the Flat Earth Society is definitely controlled opposition. There's no question on that. So
yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Right.
But
Brandon runs that site.
Control Flat Earth and how the actual information gets
That's how
out.
it's so sure.
And if you think about the servers and how they're run, not yours, Brandon, please don't take offense to that. But how this whole topic is being talked about, and you stay in one zone, they want you to. They don't want you to speculate about some things. And when you think about how Flat Earth is actually being controlled, I'm not saying Flat Earth is not real, because I know it is. It's about who's controlling it, what is being said, and how the message is getting across. Because sometimes it's
Right.
not compassionate.
So when you say
I've got
flat
a,
Earth
can I do a
nowadays, to
quick
me,
mic check?
I get it.
Check.
Yeah, you're checking in
Yeah, could I ask you
loud
a
and clear.
question then, Grim? Could I ask you a quick question? How you doing, by the way?
Hey, good. Long time. Good.
Yeah. Do you still believe, or do you still think that rockets work in a vacuum then?
Yeah, I do. Now I do. It was before. I don't know maybe when you first met me, I didn't. I went.
Yeah,
I
it
went
was
a
that I
long
was
period
going
of
to
time where I
reference. I was
didn't.
going to reference actually because it was you that put me on. It was actually you, and I still haven't changed my mind when you talk about when you specifically talked about the Joule Thomson effect.
Yeah,
and the expansion of gases into
vacuum.
space.
Yeah.
So yeah, well,
So
you know that's
I learned that I was
you.
wrong only on one account, like because if it was just a gas release, right, then I'd be right. There would be no thrust there. But it's not really a gas release, it's a recombination of the plasmas. That the exhaust is now water. And water is heavier initially than it was in the beginning. So at the moment of impact, water is being pushed out of the back of this rocket at an incredible rate. That would then be the thrust needed to move a vehicle in a vacuum. Water.
Oh.
And that's when I was like, okay, so they might not, the rockets might actually work, but they don't really want you to know how it works. Because when you mix oxygen and hydrogen and burn it, it's water, the emissions.
Don't you find it a bit, but don't you find it a bit strange when you see these experiments, you know, when the proof that they use to prove that these vacuums work in
they're lies. I saw them. Yeah, they use rockets with powder that's throwing out of the back, right?
Yeah,
they use the firecracker one. Then they use the one where they turn away from the pressure sensor, right? This all kept me believing that they were lying for a really long time. It took me a while to get to my own.
They're deceiving because that's not proving that rockets work in space because they're actually pushing off something. You know, so
what it really does is it makes a guy like me think that they're not working in space and that there are no rockets in space. It'll make you think that, you know.
Oh no, I believe rockets are in space. No, I don't believe that. I'm just saying, I just believe that the medium of space is not what they tell us it is, and you can float up there, you can zoom about if you want. You know,
that's exactly true. I know
there's a guy in Grim. There's a guy in Grim, there's a guy in 24/7 called Emerald Monkey or something. And he used to have this idea, and he would cite NASA all the time saying plasma, space is filled with plasma dust. That's why when they sent something out there one time, it crashed. And I feel like you'd get along great with that guy.
Yeah, he knows what he's talking about too in a lot of cases. Because that's what that is going on. Remember when they did the Echo one? This is when they found out. The Echo one, they knew it before this, but this one's the one that they let us know about them playing with. And they wanted to see if they could do a thing, use a different technology right in front of our very eyes, and then see if we would believe that and understand it the way they wanted to. And this was a great test. And I think they electrostatically stuck the Echo one up there. Like it's a sphere. So it would find an equilibrium on either side of a charge that has two potential differences, and it could find what they would call a Lagrange point, but it would be electrostatic equilibrium between the 2 points. So they could find a way to just poke a fucking thing up there and hold it electrostatically. And I think that's what they did. And they try to tell us it was some, has to be moving at such and such thousands of miles an hour and blah, blah, blah. So that we feel all like it's too much for us to ever accomplish on our own, when in fact we could probably put our own satellites up really easily.
We don't even know what that is.
Okay, but if we, I was just, hey, Stacy. Just about to say, are we really just replacing the story with something that makes more sense just to cope? Because there's no proof that anyone's been anywhere. But we can make up stories as to how they.
Well, I mean, there's no evidence that you're
cope with what?
Right.
What would you be coping with? To cope with what?
Traveling to that area that we believe exists.
Yeah, well, it's in the end up. It's only a conversation. It's not really important. It's not like it's the be all. I'm not really bothered actually. I'm just curious about what's happening up there, kind of thing. It's not like I really care. if they turned around and said, "Oh, it's really, these
pudding
frozen gases or whatever," I would say, "Oh yeah, right, okay, so what?" Because it doesn't really affect my life in any way. Going on to, when they say about going on to the part, space doesn't really affect my life or that kind of stuff, So it's just a conversation. It's nothing really to get emotional about. That's why I find it strange about these people that you have conversations, these ballers or whatever. They get rather emotional about science when there's other more pressing things.
That's because space is a big thing to these people, though, isn't it? You have to understand this is the region, the place that the Earth spins around in. And when we look up,
that's a story.
So when we look up into the sky and we see stars and stuff, we're told what they are. So we know what they are. So all of a sudden now, because we don't know what we are as flat earthers, we have to not know what they are. It cannot be uncontained gas or ball that's flying around in the vacuum. So it's not that. So let's say spaceships working in the vacuum. I didn't give a fucking shit about that argument because it's not proving anything. It's not proving space. It's not proving contained gas.
Jedi, you're breaking up a little bit.
The point is, sorry guys.
Sorry.
It's sorry.
Bummer.
So
Any
yeah.
better?
Guys, I rambled for a while. Huh?
Yeah, sounds
I
good.
just realized.
That
Jedi,
was
you're coming in
interesting,
clear
though.
now.
Yeah, all I wanted to say is, it's nice to speculate. Might point up in the sky and say, "Oh, what
You
could
know
that
what,
possibly
Jedi?
be?"
I lied.
For me, it's the flat Earth. It's one of the most.
I lied. It's not better.
Bad.
Sorry.
No, but
It always happens during interesting conversations, or when
Yeah, I hate
someone's
that
trying
shit.
to say something.
Yeah, Ali.
You know what I mean? It's like and another thing, and then you cut off or you start roboting, or I've got this really important thing.
And the most important takeaway is
Yeah. And the whole point of the story is,
Yeah. But yeah, Jedi's right. We've been told this story about what's going on up in the sky, and it might not be that.
The biggest thing.
And the reason I have another. Oh, damn it.
Go ahead.
I know I'm hogging. I just want to say last time. The reason I kind of, it gives me an affinity towards this plasma cosmology and stuff because it tears the shit out of what's going on and all this, this what they called settled science, is Einstein's proofs and all this kind of stuff. It digs right into that and shows experimentally how there's another answer right there in front of your face.
What's your election
by decree?
One story with another.
Yeah, you can't just by decree. One story actually has physical demonstrations instead of just theoretical wishmanship, though. You know what I mean? So it's a big difference.
What's
when
your
you're replacing
plasmoid
it
shit?
with
What's your
something you really
plasmoid shit do to like space time, for instance, or
There's no such thing as space time. For one, it's
your
not
plasmoid
necessary.
shit replaces it.
Yeah, there's no such thing. There's no need for it because light passes through a plasma in a laboratory and it redshifts, and it redshifts as if it's space expanding. Right. So it's another way to demonstrate the observation that we see that we claim by decree now, since there are two choices, that it's the other one that we can't demonstrate.
We might want to hijack.
That's crazy talk.
We might want to hijack parts of your electric universe thing, maybe.
Get it, man.
So
get
we
it
can get
because it
some
needs to be. Yeah.
Because that's all the Globers want. They want us to have an explanation
You
of how
guys
shit's
really
happening.
need to cope, boy.
I'm saying, Elijah, hear me out. Hear me out.
I hear
Elijah.
what you're saying.
Like they all they
Okay.
want is an explanation and a story from us. Half the time, like, well, how does this work then? They could be like, oh, it's the.
You ever read fiction?
Right. I was going. Yeah. Thank you, Elijah. I'm gonna read you a bedtime story.
Well, I mean,
Fiction.
denial
It's
denial
possible.
isn't just a river in Egypt.
It's a good story.
I mean, denial can only get you so far, right? Denial river.
What is one denying?
9.
Am I? I mean, am I?
Oh, I thought you said what is 1 to 9? Like 1 to 9. I'm like, well, it's 9. 1 to 9.
Home Alone is a really dope movie, but I mean, people exist.
Jeremy, if you think you gave them
There are
an answer,
concepts that
we're falling apart.
Of course.
What I'm trying to say is just because it's like outside, like if it's new to you, right? when flat Earth is new to you, you look at it and you pay attention to it, and you make sure that if it has or not validity to it, and you make your decisions on it, right? So when someone says, they have a different alternative to the standard narrative, why would you, of all people, be the first one to go, bullshit, just a story? Because
I mean, clearly
aren't you in
I'm
search
not
of
looking
alternative
for.
cosmologies? Aren't you like that
Was that
type,
a question
right?
or
Yeah,
you
it
gonna
is.
finish it? Yeah, I was trying to answer it, but my bad.
Sorry,
You know what?
I
You
couldn't hear you.
kept going, so I don't know if
Well,
you're
no, I thought it was
actually
Jeremy. I was
making a
just
statement
trampling through him
or.
for one more second, and I didn't know it was you. I'm sorry, because I thought both of you spoke up. One of you came through more clearly than the
Go
other.
ahead, Elijah.
Yeah, we would call that a false dichotomy. Because I'm not actually denying anything.
Well, I mean, if you assume, like you did, right? If you assume immediately that it's just a replacement of a story, and you don't have to even focus on it, aren't you hand waving and dismissing it without
What am I hand
taking
waving?
a responsible look?
What am I
The
hand
plasma, the plasma cosmology, or whatever the alternative view to
And
whatever
how
it is.
and how would it be validated?
Well, how would you know if you didn't look? That was my point.
I would
only
never
point.
know. How would it be validated? Is
Right.
what I'm asking.
Well, that's my point. I think
bring
we
me.
agree. You would never know. That's agreement. Now we're there. That's all I wanted you to admit to.
Yeah, well, that's what I said when you said that denial is a river.
Right, because you're denying someone else's
I can't
idea
deny
just because
nothing.
it doesn't comport. Well, you did it when you said it's just a replacement story.
It
Now
is a
you've hand
replacement
waved it.
story. That's
Well,
not
so
a.
you're denying.
That's not a
You're denying
denial
it
of
has any
something.
legitimacy. Yeah, it is. You're denying its legitimability. Of course you are.
So because I'm saying it's
Legitimacy,
a
yeah, thank you.
replacement story means
so
I'm
stoned.
denying it. How does that work?
I don't know if anybody agrees with me, but yeah, it's obvious that you're negating the whole entire thing without even having to look
Okay,
at it.
well let's ask. So if I say something is a replacement story, does that ipso facto mean that I'm denying something?
Yes, your inferment is that it's all
I didn't ask
story.
you. You said let's ask others.
I
And
think
that's why I said yeah, sure.
Elijah. I mean, I don't want to speak for you, Grim, but I think the word that is maybe tripping us up here is story. Story makes it sound like it is not true, like it's just like a fairy tale.
Made up. Yeah.
No,
there's nothing
it is
behind it.
a story that I can't validate to be a thing. Oh, my
But you
bad.
can.
Am I wrong for saying that?
But you say you can't, but you don't look at it, so you assume you can't, which is a
Look at
defeatist
what?
attitude.
Okay,
Whatever
look at what?
it is,
Because
the alternative to the standard narrative.
There's an explanation. There's a story, but how do I verify it? I keep asking you the same thing.
On mute.
Is that somebody saying something about mute?
No, that's exactly what I was saying on mute. Right before Elijah even said that. It's always a story until you can validate that story. Then it's no longer a story, it's reality. But it's still
do you have?
until we have
do you-
proof of it.
Yeah,
Do you
but
have
I'm talking about the differences.
Oh,
Sorry,
Grim.
Jeremy, go ahead.
Do you have actual experiments in the lab that validates any of this shit?
Is that to me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, that's what makes it not just a story, one of these theoretical standard narrative stories. Yes.
That wouldn't
And
be my question, though. My question would be, can we experience said thing?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Because
No,
experiencing,
I
that's
mean,
what
are we gonna go
experimental
to this
physics,
place and
it's using the same prefix as the word experience. Experimental physics. It's literally what that means.
At best, you might make a
You can
correlation,
experience
which
it
isn't
in the
really
laboratory.
science or anything, but that's cool.
Come on, guys, you know that worked, right? That was pretty simple.
Well, I mean, correlation
and it's
is
not
a
it
definition.
doesn't prove
it
or
has a
disprove
That's the
definition
anything,
word.
for a reason.
right?
But
It
know.
just
It's a
shows
false
you
correlation as well.
well, it gives you an
Sorry,
idea
it's a
how to
false
make
correlation. Just because you can come up with a story, you can say, "Oh, I've got an experiment that fits this part of it, and I've got an experiment that looks a little bit like that part of it."
Of
Doesn't
course,
mean that
nobody's
you can
saying
tell me
anything.
what the sky is.
Right,
Does
but
it?
it sure does. But it does mean, though, that when you go further out to where as far as you can actually physically go, and you start to measure that these differences occur, right? You see less pressure, you see more voltage in the air,
Where
and
you can actually
you
go,
get a
he
higher
said.
Yeah.
ionized.
Sorry,
Right,
sorry,
right.
sorry. I
Listen,
got to jump
so
in, my friend. At this point, you sound like a glober because
I am a
in
glober.
He
morning
is.
time the cockerel
He's a
kind
glober.
of crows and it comes from
Welcome
the
to the party.
east, so the east and the cockerel make the sunrise. No, mate.
This isn't what
No.
I'm talking about. You're scrambling the eggs here.
Are
Doesn't
you
mean to be.
saying there's more static potential the higher up you go?
Yeah.
100 volts a meter.
Okay, so
That's right.
so what can we do that would actually okay, for instance, if I go up, is my hair
What we would do is
stand on my
experiments.
is my hair listen?
Yeah, man.
If I go up,
no,
or if it listen to the question before you begin to answer.
is your hair going to stand up? Yeah.
Is it fair?
Not unless you stay grounded.
Is it fair?
Are we like on two separate gears? Like I'm in a higher gear, a lower gear, or something? We're just missing what we're trying to say. Like you did answer the
I'm
question.
just trying to finish a sentence.
No, I think we heard him. I think we all did hear him say, "With my hair stand up."
I don't think you heard my multiple examples because you didn't let me finish.
Oh well, I didn't. You didn't get to gish gallop. I was just going to answer your one question at a time.
I didn't finish. You finished my sentence for me and thought that that was the conclusion. So I'll answer it
maybe
now
I got cut
in
off.
the middle
we
of
got
you
cut
talking.
off. Sorry,
It's
man.
all right.
Maybe
Just
we
let
got
him
cut
go.
off.
Go ahead, Elijah. Go ahead.
So, the higher up I go, can I experience this effect? Like, say, if I take an empty battery, or like my hair, will it stand up? Like, what can I see that
Will an empty battery stand up?
effectively change?
What the fuck does that even mean?
No,
Okay,
he said, "Will his hair
sorry,
stand
man, I'm
up
lost
when you
here.
recharge the battery?"
Jeremy,
How do we know the 100 volts is up there per meter?
Right. Well, first of all, you need to take a ground wire, keep it ground, so that you could then take that grounded wire and rise it up. And then you can measure the difference between a non-grounded wire and that grounded wire the higher you go up. And that would be like equivalent to using something like a Langmuir probe. And you measure the potential difference between the two, and that would be the difference between the ground and the altitude that you're at.
I don't think the 100 volts per meter is in question. Feynman,
It's not.
a lot of the scientists.
It's not. It's static, but it's not in question at all. It's part of the standard narrative, and it's measurable. Kids do it in college. I mean,
How far have you been out?
Awesome.
well, I was just over what was it, 7,000 feet the other day. Went fishing Lake Tahoe, and
So
I
what are
didn't
we
feel much of a
proving with all of
difference.
this? Sorry, all I've noticed you say is the gas pressure gets less and the voltage increases. Okay, so go from there. Tell me what now? What's happening with the voltage and the gas? What's happening? What are you saying is happening?
Oh man, it's where are we going with this? This is a long.
I don't know. I want you to tell me something so there's some cowbell.
Yeah,
Prove
now
something to me.
funny.
Hey guys, I just want to point out.
It's not what I'm here for.
I just want to point out
Especially
that
with that
Graham
attitude.
is being reasonable.
Sorry, Brandon. Sorry, it's not
You're coming in
attitude. I
hot,
literally just
yeah.
want you to know. I
It's
just want you
fire
to
in the
get to your
hole, brother.
point.
We all
No,
see
hold
it.
on, my friend. Don't start.
Brandon,
I
don't be a
literally
bitch.
just want you to get to your point. You said
Well,
about gas
you're the one
pressure,
trying to
less up
force a
there. Hold on, my friend, please. So less gas pressure up there, more voltage up there. Okay,
Yeah. And so with that environment, known environment, right? And you see that gradient continues, it would be a logical step to then increase that environment to follow what you would assume would be around that gradient, and to keep trying different experiments in between there to find any with the same environment, things like the electrical environment and the gas pressure environment, right? And the actual molecules discovered in that environment, right? And the amount of them, right? You start to do experiments with those molecules.
I'll
at
start
those
to do experiments
electrical
then. So
densities.
lots of speculation
Right,
from your
right,
point
right.
of gas pressure
Well,
runs out up there or gets less, and voltage and everything
here's
from
what
this
makes
point is
this
just speculations.
interesting.
I hope they do experiments in the future.
Right,
Yeah?
they have already done
Oh,
experiments.
sorry,
and
you
they're
just
doing
said. Oh,
experiments.
so okay. So when's
Right, so this
what's
is-
happening
I'm-
then?
Well, what? Why don't you stop interrupting?
Just want to know what's happening, mate. There's lots of talking from you, but
Look,
going
no,
nowhere.
You don't.
Yeah, I
You
do.
don't. What you want to
I
do?
want you
what
to
you wanna
prove
do is
something
try to
to
make
me.
yourself look
No,
smart.
I want you to show me
That's what
something.
you're doing right now.
No,
because you're not
just
really
want you
doing a
to
good
show
job
me
of what
something.
you think you're doing. Just relax
Grim.
a little bit. All right.
I just want you to get to the
I
point
don't
of what
know.
you're saying.
So-
What experiments are proving something now, please?
What
If
kind
that
of
were
what parts
true,
of the
you
electric
wouldn't
universe
keep
can I
talking.
hijack and use?
I'm
on.
watching
Right.
Jedi
If that
on
were
video,
true,
and you're gonna
it
tell him to
wouldn't.
stay calm. Now I'm gonna get not calm for you real quick because it's very,
Oh,
very calm.
wow. Here goes
And you're
that
being
shit.
a little
hold
dick
on.
right now, and you need to calm your ass down. Okay? Thank you.
Guys, I don't
All right,
understand
this
why
might
we
need to, it's
why
going
we got how we
sideways
got
here.
here. It seems like we're having a reasonable discussion.
That's what I thought.
Listen, all I want to know is what parts of this electrical universe shit can I fucking hijack and use to my own will to destroy the
Exactly, Jeremy.
Glovers?
Well, it was a reasonable conversation, but it's almost like he wanted to talk over and just assert something without answering any follow-up questions, because that's like me speaking Chinese and then you're like, wait, hold on, I don't understand you, and I just continue to talk and then I get mad because you're trying to slow me down. I don't owe anybody just to fucking sit here and listen and shut up. I'm trying to understand this shit and no one seems to want to explain it at a reasonable pace.
Great.
Okay, so clearly there must be some misunderstanding, Elijah, because I'm hearing in the tone of your voice and what's his
Well,
face?
there's
Sorry,
that tone
I always.
policing again. I don't understand it.
Yeah, well, you should, because it means a lot when you talk to somebody in a disrespectful tone. It does mean a lot.
I was
And when you
very
come at
calm
them,
when I started, and you were
Mm-mm.
talking passively aggressively, and I
That's an
didn't say
opinion
anything.
of what you think that tone is, by the way. You can't actually
well,
verifiably prove that that's what the tone meant.
you can if you've listened to him talk enough.
Nope, you can't prove
Yeah,
it.
you can.
assume that that's what
You
he
can
meant,
listen
but
to
you
how he
can't
talks
prove
with
it.
people he agrees with, and then you listen to how he talks with people he doesn't agree
And it would
with,
still be your opinion
and it's
after
a
listening
lot.
to both of those things.
I didn't.
No,
What do I
I would
disagree
imagine
with?
it would be a lot
I
more than
didn't.
just my opinion.
Okay,
you
so
would
I
imagine a
repeated
lot of
to you
things, I'm
multiple. I agree. I told you multiple times that I don't have a disagreement yet. I was just trying to get information.
Well, no, you're pretty much putting yourself in the position of victimhood
That's how
instantly.
you feel. That's how you feel. Those are your
Right,
feelings.
but what I'm
Like how
trying,
you
yeah,
feel
but that's
about how
how.
I'm speaking to you.
Right, because that's all you can do, right? You're not logical. Give me a break. You're just running on feelings. This is why you're behaving like this in front of all your
Well,
buddies
now
that
you're
you're
going to
with all
project
day.
onto me what I literally
Yeah,
just told
I'm not
you.
with my
Yeah,
buddies I'm
see,
with all
it
day.
seems like he's
It's wrong.
doing a little spiraling here going on.
Hmm.
He's starting to pull out
Well, you got
personal
the
attacks
backup
because he
police
can't
and the
defend
white knighting
himself.
police. Right. It's not like you haven't alienated me
You know what
entirely.
happened actually, Grim? Is when Jedi came
I
in
don't
and
want to
Elijah,
hear a
wait,
new narrative.
please, and asked you to like prove some of the stuff you were saying, you instantly
I'm not here to
went
prove any of that shit
crazy
to you
on
guys.
people.
I'm beyond that proving shit to people. That's nonsense.
Well,
Who the
then
fuck's gonna
don't have
ask me?
to wait. Don't tell
No,
other people how they're
the
feeling when
asshole.
in
Look, we
reality
talk
you're
about.
feeling.
Listen, no, you and I will sit here and act and talk about how people who think they're proving shit to people are assholes, and then you want to turn around and think I'm going to take the position of the asshole who's going to prove something to you? Are you kidding me? You and I and everyone else in this fucking room will sit in here and talk about
He's
how
not okay.
people
This is, I don't
in
know.
the
These are
from the
these are
standard
beta
narrative. You're just going to talk
tendencies.
over me.
This is what happens when people can't prove stuff.
Right.
They start talking about nothing.
You can't prove
So,
anything either.
Hold on,
That's
I
what
haven't made. Hold on, I haven't even
you
made
can't
an
prove
assertion
anything.
yet. I
Yeah,
just
but I'm
want you
not
to get to
standing
the
here telling
cowboy
you prove
assertion
something.
of your.
Prove
This
something.
is why
Prove
you keep
something. Well,
talking
since
through
you can't
me,
prove something, since you can't prove
mate.
something, then you're
I
ridiculous.
just wanted
I'm
you to
asking
get to the
prove
point
something.
of what you were saying,
That's
and you're
all
not
you're
listening
doing.
to me. No,
And the
I
only
wanted
honest
you
position a
to
person
get
can
to the
take is you don't
point
prove
of what you
things.
were saying. That was all.
Right.
With an
overtalking
experiment to prove
everyone.
something.
It wasn't to
I just
prove
wanted an
something.
experiment. Grim. I wanted an experiment
Graham,
that proved something. Right?
that's my
You
name.
said less gas.
I'm
Why
telling
are
you,
you not
there's
listen?
no
Why do you not
experiment
listen?
to prove something.
Why do you not listen?
Right.
You don't need an
Because
experiment to prove
you're
something
false.
about the
You're false
physical
on your
natural
premise.
world.
You're false on your premise. That's why.
He just said to you that proving things to people is nonsense.
You're
I
not
don't
sitting
know
here
if you
trying to prove.
guys caught that.
You're not proving it to anyone. You can show evidence that they can either agree with a high
What
level
evidence?
of confidence or not, or
What evidence?
you can. But you
They're
can't
asking you
prove
for
What
the
things
evidence? Sorry,
to people.
sorry.
So
What
you
is
can stop
even
all
the
the
question
nonsense.
now?
The question was, why would we be using plasma experiments in a laboratory to try and duplicate the environment of outer space? Stupid.
Awesome. No, don't call me stupid. I just want to
Well,
know how
I
that
wonder
affects
what the
gas.
question
Hold
was.
on, Grim.
If you're sitting here
Grim.
talking at me this
I
whole
want to know
time
how
and you
that.
don't even know what the fuck
Grim.
you're talking about,
Sweetheart. I want to know
you
how that
need
affects
me
gas.
to remind you. It's stupid.
Don't
Just
call me
stop it.
stupid again.
Well,
I just
don't
want to
be
know how that
stupid.
affects gas. I just want to know how that affects gas, being as you said less gas up there. In these experiments that you said that you've seen that they've been done, they affected gas yet? And if so, could you provide me with that? Because that's the fucking cowboy I want, princess. Jesus.
Nobody needs to provide you with anything at this point, dude. You're clearly out of your fucking
Right,
rocker.
okay, so don't provide me with anything to back up what you say. I'll just listen to you tell stories. No,
need
Elijah
to.
doesn't have to believe your stories. A wise
Wow,
man
and
can
that's
entertain
all I've
thoughts
been
and doesn't have
doing
to
with
believe
you.
that I feel. Yeah.
Right, and that's
shut up,
how
Grim.
I politely listen to you too. I just listen to your stories, and I
You
don't
have
ask
not
you
been
for
polite
all your to
whatsoever
prove
since that
anything.
man spoke.
Are you
Because
kidding
stop
me?
beginning,
I
doesn't
listened
like
for
him, and
days and
Elijah,
days and
because
days.
you're getting upset.
I don't
And you
even know who
over-talk me.
Elijah
You're
is.
talking while I'm talking. You're talking while Elijah's talking, and we
You're
just keep
talking
talking over
over
you because you're
me.
disrespectful. Maybe you
Wow.
need to go back and remember how disrespectful you've been.
I think maybe you just need to watch your mouth. You're all being a little bit silly right
I
now.
don't need to watch my mouth at all, sweetheart. You keep me clear?
You do. You keep on acting like
No,
you're somebody's
tell me how.
boss.
Please
Just
show
cut
me
it the
how
fuck
to.
out.
Only
Brandon, why don't
babies
you set this shit
gaslight like this,
straight?
by the
This is
way.
getting ridiculous, dude.
Also well
Like, I think
defined.
I've held myself
Fallacy.
pretty calm throughout this
Yeah.
whole entire barrage of nonsense.
I mean, you've been an
You might want to
asshole.
straighten this
Can
shit
I
up
say
before I start
something?
unleashing
I
a
just want to
ball
say
of
something.
shit
Let's
on
just
this bitch.
everybody call. Let's just take a break for just a second, please.
Hi, Brandon. I just thought tomorrow was fight night.
We're practicing for tomorrow.
Yeah, well,
I was thinking.
Yeah.
oh,
Tomorrow,
really?
tomorrow's
Because
Friday.
let me put something together. I'll
So,
fuck you all up
You
tomorrow.
guys, yeah, go for it. That'd be awesome, man. But you guys are thinking about this in a completely different way, and I'm not saying either one is right. When I was listening to him, I was thinking to myself, this is interesting, this stuff he believes. I didn't say it as him trying to assert that was reality, or that's the way the world was and I should believe that, like we get from the ballers
Brandon,
at all.
I
didn't hear that at all.
You're gonna interrupt Brandon too?
Brandon, forget everyone else's interaction. Just think about mine. Did I tell him that was a problem?
That what was a problem?
What you just said. Like, were you listening to
I don't
our
even know what you're talking
conversation?
about, Brandon.
Well,
Did you hear our conversation
I was
from
listening.
the beginning?
No, you didn't say that was a problem. I get it, but you guys just
so
just got really
hold on,
Elijah.
Us
You didn't let me
guys.
finish in the first place. Let me give you a full answer. It seems like you guys are being really aggressive. I'm just gonna be honest. To me, I'm putting my opinion out there. I could be completely wrong. Why are you guys being so aggressive with someone
Jedi
who
was being aggressive. That's why I asked you to forget that and just
Okay.
talk about me, because I'm kind of offended because I was gaslit, and I'm still keeping my cool.
Oh, you were gaslit. Okay, maybe I missed it then. That's why I'm asking. How were you gaslit? Why did it go from 0 to 90? Because I didn't get it. I missed it.
Well, he
Can I
told me
put my
that my
opinion in
tone was rather harsh, but when I speak to others, it's fine. Then he said, I don't even know who Elijah is. I mean, come on, bro.
Grim, that's just
sorry,
just
personally,
Elijah,
that's
bro. I mean, that's the way he talks. I think you're just taking his tone of voice in a different way, but I get you.
No. Listen. I don't know who he is personally. Like, I've never watched any of his videos or anything, but I've seen him in these rooms. I don't know 100 times or so, and seen his engagement. And whenever he's agreeing, just like it was just like it was a frenzy. It's like if you're sitting here, you can see it. I think we all did see it. And the people who want to be honest are going to say they saw it, and the people who aren't going to be honest are just going to keep their mouths shut or say they didn't see it. To be honest,
so Brandon,
that's my
the
opinion.
point is,
so Brandon, hold on, Jeremy. So Brandon,
I do bite
now
back.
that his
That's the
premise
whole.
was,
You can't just point at it when I did something to you.
now
Like,
that
Jedi was already up my ass. Wait, before you got in, Eli, listen for 1 second, brother. Before you got in, Jedi was already like bat, right? And then you jumped in bat with this tone that was almost matching his. So you put yourself in position. Listen, man, hold on. I don't know who you think you are right now, but when you jump in front of somebody who's already fighting somebody
just
else,
let him finish
and you
because
get
I wanted
punched,
to respond.
and you accidentally get punched, you can't be like, "Oh my God, I'm such a victim. You intentionally punched me." Listen, man, you just
That's the gaslighting
casualty of
part
war. You jumped in the
on
middle,
my end.
right? Yes, not a gaslight. You keep on using
Now,
this
so his
weaponized
that's
term.
not even possible, and that actually is a lie.
Hold on, his premise is
No,
that
I'm not having that, Elijah.
I'm gonna
That's a
let you
lie.
finish. I'm gonna let you finish because I'm pointing out a lie as well. So his premise is that I act a certain way
Well, that is your name.
when
right?
I
You're pointing out Eli.
disagree. When I disagree with people, whether that's true or not, what about what he said did I disagree with in order for him to say this?
You see how he just talked to you? Nobody heard that, how different that was? Come on, get the fuck out of here.
Can I say something?
Well, I was asking Brandon.
I know, it
Is my
wasn't me.
mic working
Exactly.
here?
It was someone other than me, and you were very polite, and I appreciate that. But now it's proving my point. Now can we move on?
Yeah,
This is what I mean.
My mic working now.
at this
Nothing
point,
to
Yeah,
worry
listen,
about.
let me
at
put my
this
2
point,
cents.
I don't think it's worth us belaboring it because we've gotten so meta. Why don't we just move forward and just call it?
Well, you
water
can't
under the
just
bridge?
answer the question. I mean, I done cut Jedi off, and I asked you directly. What did you hear me disagree with? For him to
When did I
shut up
say?
his premise.
Just move on, guys. Come on, man. Seriously, I get along so well in these rooms when people aren't
his
trying
I
to
don't know. I can't
play these
specifically
games.
recall. I can't specifically recall the exact.
Okay, that's
words.
fair.
Yeah.
I'll leave it alone then. That's fair.
That's
All
what
right,
I'm saying.
let me go.
I don't know where to go
Hold
with
on.
this. You know.
I know where to go with this. Listen, Grim is a glober, yes. However, he's on our side most of the time, so let's not get too crazy on him. And second of all, I want to know what kind of electric universe shit can I take that where you got some real like scientific
reality,
backing
yeah.
of and shove it up their ass.
All right, Pierre-Marie Robitaille, right? He's the guy that revolutionized the MRI machines that made it 10 times or 100 times more sharp, the image. So it saved hundreds of thousands of lives, like literally overnight when he did this. Well, this crazy idiot. All right, he applied what he was using for the Kirchhoff's law and all this stuff that he saw flaws in and augmented to what he was being told that the cosmic background radiation signatures were from. So he did a lot of research into that, and he discovered through how they obtained their data that they were, in his opinion, taking Earth's reflection of microwaves, an image of the microwaves that Earth has emitted, due to the fact that it also receives. A receiver is also an emitter. I mean, it works both ways. So the cosmic rays take longer to come out, so it's more like a blah blah blah. To make a long story short, it would be a different signature. And this signature, he has found like the continents in the CME background and pointed it out. Like, why doesn't anybody else point at this?
That's that sky. That's the guy. That's the Sky Scholar.
Sky Scholar. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Pierre-Marie
good.
Robitaille.
He debunked a black hole photograph of Snoop Dogg's blunt before. Yeah, he does good work.
Oh, that's pretty funny. I saw that shit.
And he's funny the way his presentations are. He's like really, his hands are always moving in this particular way.
It's very data
really nerdy.
It's very data intensive. Like he gives a lot of data.
Professor
like what
Dave.
You just said. I have no idea what you just said. That was too much data at once.
Oh, he kills Professor Dave. Like Professor Dave tries to like debunk some shit, blah blah blah. Electric universe. The same guy tries
and he
to
responds. This guy responds to Professor
He makes
Dave?
a response to Professor Dave, and he does it in such a professional manner that Professor Dave had to shit his pants. And he did it so good. Like he broke it all down how Professor Dave was wrong about all his shit that it was almost laughable. I couldn't even believe it. I was like, wow, that guy had the balls to go up against him. That'd have been, and that's why I wonder why don't any of these assholes go up against him, right? Because look what happened to Professor Dave. That's why they don't. He'll respond. Like these guys in gyms, they're like whatever they are. Half of them are scientists and doctors, and clearly, and you've seen it, Jeremy. Clearly teaching them shit about their own fields. Oh yeah, well, I mean, of course, blah blah blah. Zanuck didn't know that solar wind was a plasma, arguing with me about fucking plasma. I'm like, come on, Zanuck, really?
No, this Robitaille guy, was he a Nobel Prize winner or no?
No, but I think he works with something close to it or whatever. I don't remember. It's something to do with it, but I'm not sure. He should be.
He did some revolutionary shit in his field though with the MRI machines, right?
Yeah.
We'll have to start watching this guy more. I want to see that Professor Dave response. That'll be neat.
Yeah, Professor Dave is particularly annoying. Especially when the ballers go around going, "Oh, Professor Dave destroyed you," and you watch it, and it's just like straw man, steel man, just total bullshit.
Well, that's why I thought you'd be interested in watching him get his ass handed to him.
Yeah.
By Yeah, a fucking guy who actually does real science for a living.
Yeah, sounds good. If you got a link to that shit, that'd be interesting.
Oh shit! Let me see if
I'm
I can find
sub to that guy. He's fucking good. Yeah, I've never seen that Professor Dave video though. I'm gonna go DM me that.
Don't go watching Professor Dave.
No,
It's not a
not
Professor
Professor
Dave
Dave. The
video.
guy that.
It's debunking.
The guy
Professor
that.
Dave's debunking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Professor Dave is like he's like the ultimate censorship. Like you see on his videos, like you try to read the comment section, it's him responding to nobody because he'll respond and then just delete all the stuff that the person says. So you have no idea what they were even talking about.
That's weak sauce.
Hey, I wanted to mention one of the other things that kind of irked me in Ranty's video was him talking about piss drinking. Now, I wasn't around at the beginning of Flat Earth, like 5-6 years ago. I didn't come around until like 17 or something.
That'd be a shot at Dave Murphy.
Dave, right? Okay, so no, I did see a video with a few people talking about piss drinking in like a Shills for Shills, and it was like Patricia Steer and those guys. Was that like a thing at one point?
There was a guy in Gems that used to say he
was.
drank his piss. I forgot his name.
Pete Shea.
Pete.
Yeah, Pete
no, not
Shea as
Pete
well.
Shea.
Yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing back in them days. They were all at it. I was like, come on, man.
Yeah, Pete Shea,
You know, I
dude.
mean, this. But
Not
yeah,
that-
Patricia Steele. I think Jeranism. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But Pete Shea and yeah, there was a load of
Poison in the well.
that recommended.
General.
Now I
chat,
definitely think
guys,
that
for
that's
that link.
nasty because they'll say that well it had some health benefits, but at the same time,
Yeah.
because they wanted to get their health on track, they literally changed their entire lifestyle, like their diet, exercise, and all they did
True.
was add piss.
Those
It's
variables.
ridiculous.
Right.
Now-
Those variables alone
But I
could have
think
done
that
Now,
Dave
now
without the
who the
piss.
hell is Jim think he is scrutinizing these guys and not scrutinize the poop coffee drinkers
What?
on the ISS?
That's what I was going to say too. I thought this piss drinking stuff was making fun of the ISS because on the ISS they said they drink their own pee, they eat their
Yeah,
own.
but they like distill it or something. These guys are drinking it straight, no chaser.
No, I think they're making fun of the government.
It's a real thing, Rick. A real thing. I was
Piss in
told
the
this
rock.
by even, Riggs, who was saying drink your own pee, and after a while it tastes like water. And to cure cancer, cure anything. I am not kidding you. There's a lot of people who actually believe in this stuff, and I'm like, good on you. You do that. I'm not doing that. But yeah, it's not like distilled or anything. This is straight up people drinking their own pee.
Like
And there was
pee
an
in a
actual
glass
fire
and drink it.
I would do it myself.
Are you telling me you're all right with distilled poop? Is that what we're saying here?
Well, you know what they're doing to in the farm communities, right? They're giving farmers who want it 10% replace free of their fertilizer, and it's reconditioned sewage. I guess they let bacteria eat it, and then it's human feces with the pharmaceuticals and all, and they're putting it on your lettuce. It's going to fucking grocery stores all across the United States, dude.
I mean, most
They're
of the
just
people.
shitting on our stuff, man. I was
Most
wondering
of the
how
people in the
cucumbers were
cities
getting
that-
E. coli, right? Remember how they were like, in Germany, the cucumbers were the E. coli and blah, blah, blah. How do cucumbers
Most of the
get
people
E. coli?
in cities, you're drinking your own pee water and poop water. It's going through a recycling system. They're adding chemicals to it.
I got a
and
fucking
shit,
well,
but
man.
I mean,
I'm
The
drinking
wells
mole
ain't safe
piss
either.
and bug piss.
Get
and
your well
earthworm
checked for
piss.
glyphosate. Get your well checked for glyphosate, man. If there are any farm places around you, the glyphosate's getting into the water table.
I had it checked a couple years ago, but I'm in the suburb.
Oh, yeah. It's nice when you're up on the mountain and you know that your water's coming from that snowpack.
Oh, there's nothing better than I grew up in Colorado, and we used to.
Even a cup of water looks blue. Like even if it's like a big cup of water, you can see the blue in it. It's great.
So
I never saw blue in spring water, but I don't know.
Not really blue, you know what I'm saying?
I got a story.
I'll tell you what made me happy one year. I lived in Vermont, and a vote. They came to a vote on if they wanted to put fluoride in the water or not, and everyone voted no. They didn't want it, and I was like, "Oh, that's
smart."
Surprising, yeah. I was almost shocked.
You know, in China, they actually, this is no joke, you can look it up like a street food stuff. They're taking sewage water and sewage oil, excuse me, poop, everything from their sewage, and they're recycling it, and they're using that to fry their food in.
Oh,
What?
Look it up. Yes, swear to God, sewage.
Where
They're
at?
using, and I forget exactly what they call it in China. Yeah, they
fucking
actually take the stuff
Wuhan,
and use it for
China,
and
outside
fry your food.
the
Well, you know what?
somebody fried a
There's an
bat wing in fucking sewage, and they're wondering where this shit came from.
there's an episode in Futurama where they find out that they're drinking eating alien poop, and also in the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, they're like eating like sneakers and all types of other garbage. And I'm just thinking, how much of that is really true? Like, what do we
Right.
really know?
Yeah. Like that's where we're headed. Think of the most absurd future you possibly can think of, and that's what's going to happen.
Snowpiercer. You guys ever see Snowpiercer?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's a sequel to Willy Wonka.
Really?
I mean, that wasn't even that gross compared to some of the other shit we just said, but
I'll send you a video, Brandon. This guy does a breakdown of the two movies and says that it's the actual sequel. Like they combine characters and quotes and everything.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I love science fiction.
But it's the fact that
That's
China
why you
actually
keep watching
thinks that
those.
they're making a lot of money off of this. They actually are, supposedly, because they're recycling poop to get oil out of it. Like, you actually have to do a lot of processing, you think, to get oil out of someone's poo. And they're saving money, but they're making a killing off of this, supposedly.
Next time you get chicken wings
what's
at the bar,
weird-
just think.
Oh my gosh.
What's weird is that that aspartame is made from E. coli, right? That's found in the poop. So is there some sort of connection to the production of the aspartame sweetener? You know
Yo,
what I
real
mean?
quick.
What the
Hold on, real
fuck?
quick. The same company, I think it was called the Mellon Institute. They okayed, they got to check these products to make sure they're safe for the public. This Mellon Institute put the okay on asbestos, aspartame, and fluoride.
Oh, where are those
Oh.
motherfuckers at? Those we need to shut that shit down.
Yeah.
What have they approved lately?
Yeah, right. I don't know. Who knows?
The
Still
FDA,
around
right?
or what? That's just something I saw in a documentary somewhere.
You know, I'm kind of thinking, I'm wondering what's going to happen with crypto, because decentralized finance, if people raise money by that, let's say instead of shareholders, you got people who have the coin, right?
Yeah.
You can crash that shit in a day and completely ruin a fucking company. Very easily.
Like what? What do you mean?
I mean, I wonder if that's going to be the way we finance things in the future. Is we all buy into different projects, and that's how we get shit done. You know, I guess
I
it's
see
the
what you're
same.
saying. Like Kickstarter?
Well, that's kind of what it is now. With all these different coins, they go out and they say we're going to do such and such and such and such. Buy our coin, and then you buy the coin. They take the money and do it. I guess it's the same as stocks, though, right? Well, maybe there's no difference.
Yeah.
But we need to take more
took a
action.
big
But
hit
if it is
today.
the same as stocks, why aren't we crashing these motherfucking companies that fuck us over?
What, you mean those little rinky-dink coins that go under in 2 days?
No, not those ones. I'm saying,
Someone was
I don't know.
talking
It's
about
just, it's just
something like
occurred
that,
to me
like,
that we take very little action. Like we let the companies and people get away with just fucking murder, literally. And all we would have to do is take collective action and just fucking end them.
Someone once proposed in 24/7 that they said something to the effect of, if we really wanted to exercise our power, like say you live in a town somewhere, like it would be nothing to gather the people and just decide, hey, let's not go to this specific bank on this specific day. Like that'd do a lot of damage. Even that one
Or
day.
everyone stop eating McDonald's in this town, and the McDonald's would have to close down or something like that.
Or
You
that
mean?
specific McDonald's.
Yeah.
Like you go to any other McDonald's, but that specific McDonald's, don't go.
The problem with that is like that Dow Chemical and Monsanto. They've been under like they did Agent Orange in Vietnam, and over time, like Vietnam has tried to take them to court to collect. Like soldiers and so families exposed to Agent Orange have been tried to collect, and it doesn't matter how much Monsanto and how much Dow Chemical agrees to pay. The federal government just swoops in and bails them out.
Right. At the end of the day, our society is run by warlords in one way or another.
The defense contractors run the show, and they'll decide, not us, who
Right.
makes it and who doesn't. They pick the winners and losers.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Boy, that's fucking depressing, isn't it? I mean, I got a good life.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
can't complain too much, but it is just depressing when you sit back and think of it. All the shit they taught us when we were kids about land of the free, home of the brave. Same shit in other countries. But applies probably in most other countries. Same shit. Same jingoism. Believe the world's a certain way, and then, obviously you grow up and figure out that it's all bullshit. And the older I get, the more I find out is bullshit.
Yeah, I remember there's multiple periods in my life where I'm like, oh, I finally figured out how the world works. And then as time goes on, I figure out I was constantly wrong.
Right. Yeah. Oh,
Every
shit.
time.
I used
Think
to
about
think
how
that,
much gas.
you go from thinking the media is telling you the truth, the politicians are telling you the truth, to seeing obviously that they're lying, that the media is lying. And then you start to see what they're really doing and how fucking disgusting it is. How it's just blatant in your face scheming 24/7, 365 days a year.
Well, I mean, they want to keep us divided. They don't want us united, standing together. They want us divided, fighting amongst each other, not worrying about what they're doing. The politicians or these elite motherfuckers that are calling the shots, Bilderberg Group motherfuckers. They want us worrying about how's our football team doing, or oh, you're a New York Giants fan, I'm a Jets fan, go fuck yourself, or you're black, I'm white, fuck you. You know what I mean? They want us divided as possible.
Yeah.
And they do that in the media, television, just as much as they can, just to keep us divided. They have to have us divided because united will stand. So
yeah,
that's my little speech. Did you like it?
I liked it. Yeah.
Did you like my speech? Thanks.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
But you know what's the messed up part? All it would take is a little more people, not even that many, but just enough people that could pay attention over the span of like 8 to 10 years. That's enough. But all of that memory that you acquire over that span, it's impossible to dump that onto your family members as you're frantically saying, "Oh my God, do you know what they're?" It doesn't work. We've all tried it, right?
Oh yeah.
We gotta have people that actually pay attention with us.
Or unload little bits at a time, which is exactly the same thing you're saying. They'd have to be paying attention.
Yeah, don't try to push it on them. Just point out one thing. If whatever their interests are, just point out one little thing. Oh, hey, do you notice that?
So true.
Just plant a little seed.
Some people are more concerned about their wallet, so you can focus on that aspect. Because there's like something for everyone almost.
Oh, anybody focused on their wallet, I would point out how planned obsolescence works to them, because that'll really once you figure out what they're doing with planned obsolescence to us, that'll really make people start thinking. That's what got me thinking a long time ago.
Yeah. Then there's people worried about their mental health. You show them all the psychiatrists admitting that there's no actual chemical imbalance and no test to tell if they're actually, you know what I mean, ADHD or any of this shit. That's all basically made the fuck up, and what is it called?
Bro, those drugs they give people to fuck with their minds, we ain't at that point yet. We're not that technologically advanced where we can give people drugs to start fucking playing mind games with them or manipulating their mind or shit. One of my friends went straight crazy from these antidepressants or whatever drugs they were giving him. He was the most stable person I knew. Now he can't make dopamine and he's all fucked up, getting like these weird symptoms. It's crazy.
Now you
It
know
really
what's
is, man.
crazy.
Psychosis.
What's crazy is like, okay, there are some people that seem hyper, but that's as far as I'll go. Because
Compared to
aside from
who?
that, like the ADHD thing, like I mean, I was put in that class, and I feel like that's just a way to delegitimize a child who is aware enough to know that your logic is flawed.
What
Yeah, I
and
think
what's
so too.
more? Oh, the kid
Because they
won't
were
sit still.
challenging.
He doesn't want to do. He doesn't want to sit and read a book. He doesn't want to. No shit. He's a fucking kid. Not every kid likes
Right.
to read books and shit. They want to run around and play, and they fucking can't think right.
Well, here's what got weird, right? Back in the 40s and 50s, right? They didn't expect little Billy to behave like little Jesse or Jenny or whatever Jennifer would, right? They behaved differently throughout the day, and they almost kept them separate in a lot of ways. You know what I mean? The boys would get a lot more of an extended PE time and stuff like that to wear them out more. There was just a different way to handle us than little Jane, right? But now they want us in the same mold to behave like little Jane. And little Jimmy can't behave like little Jane, man. Something's gonna always be wrong. It's all relative. Like we're supposed to be acting like that. Boys are supposed to be challenging. It's all part of their damn DNA, right? It's why you have balls and testosterone and shit like that. You're supposed to get a little irrationally challenged. You know what I mean? Like you bonk heads. This is what happens. You don't put a kid in jail. It's like putting a buck in jail for ramming heads with another buck when his puberty comes in. You just throw him in jail because he fought one time. That's what we're dealing with here. And yeah, so you do gotta let them fight it out sometimes and blah blah blah, and that way it doesn't get all pent up and turn into some actual fight where it's a knife or something crazy.
You know, I hate to
Get it
say
out of the
this.
system younger.
No, I agree with you totally. I hate to say this, but this COVID thing and the way that people just sat on their hands and listened to the media and did whatever they wanted and didn't question
It hurt me.
anything and closed their business down, ruined their livelihood. And most of them not say anything back, just go along with it, has got me thinking, how stupid is our population? And would it even be a good thing if we were all on the same page to take action? Because we'd probably do something completely stupid.
Right.
I hate to say it.
Isn't that what the CIA is? I've been saying all week. Well, the reason that there are parallels between this conversation and the conversation between politicians is because people have learned to argue fallaciously through the television.
Yeah.
Is that an accident? I don't know.
Oh no, that's not an accident. Aristotle said, I think it was Aristotle, was him or that other guy, that logos is the better thing to guide humanity. I'm paraphrasing, but pathos will always be more powerful and dangerous and corrupting.
Well, because we're attracted to storytelling, fanciful stuff.
You control people's emotions.
Yeah.
You can control them. You can move the whole herd. We're just a big herd.
Right? Just yell out, "Oh, you hate the children. That's why you're investigating the vaccine." Like, whoop, that ends all investigations on the vaccine from this certain crowd.
Yep.
Well, I don't want to be seen as somebody who hurts the children. Oh, I don't want to look at this vaccine at all then. And then you go ahead and convince yourself that, it's not just an experiment.
This is like a flock of birds, and one of the birds sits there and goes, I saw a cat, and there's clearly no cat. Half the flock is going to fly away, right? Not even going to look. That's how humans are. I hate to say it. I don't
know. There's actually these meerkats, and they have a warning sound for if there's a predator nearby. And there's a group of birds that live near these meerkats, and these birds learn how to mimic the meerkats. So the bird will wait until it sees the meerkat catch some food, and it'll immediately make the predator sound like, oh, there's a predator coming, and the meerkat will drop its food, and the bird swoops down and picks up the little scorpion or whatever they were getting.
I saw that. I saw that, dude. That was great.
Yeah, that one was dope, right? Thanks.
Yeah.
They're the bird, and they're just making predator sounds as soon as we get that food, making us go in a certain direction. I
Red
just fucking
herring.
hijacked your whole analogy and made it way
It's
better.
not
You like
really
that?
a red herring,
No.
but it's like a red herring.
I was just thinking about my analogy. It was all right.
Birds of a feather.
Yep. Anyway, well, we're fucking wandering all over the place today.
Yeah,
Interesting
nice.
conversation.
So just for the record, for anybody else, my position is that I don't believe that we're proving things. That's why I don't agree with a lot of ballers on their ideas of things being settled. Because I feel as like, so when someone says, prove this to me, prove that to me, like, well, I would never even try. Like, so that's off its initial premise, a false direction to go with me, Done.
Whoa. Quiet.
Science doesn't prove things.
Science proves things
Right.
now, Ruhuf?
I said science doesn't prove things.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it fuck you, son of a bitch. We were having a nice time, all right, and
Yeah,
you
you
come in
blew
with
it.
this shit.
It was dead air. I'm filling your dead air for you, Brandon.
I appreciate that. I was walking away to the bathroom. I had to come back. So thanks, Ruhuf.
No worries.
Listen, when you have an alternative and a null hypothesis, at the end of your science experiment, you will have validated one of them. Now you can say validated or proven
To a high
or
degree of confidence.
verified. You can use any one of those words you want, but once you're done with the scientific experiment, one of those things is going to be validated, verified,
Right.
proven experimentally.
Right, but to take an
Depends.
honest position, right, you have to also know that there could be another way to get that same result. You don't know that other way, or don't know if that other way does not exist. So you can't say that there is no other way. All you can say is, to a high degree of confidence, I believe this is the way.
Now, if you followed,
you don't understand the scientific method.
yeah, if you followed the scientific method properly,
There's the
not the
garbage.
bullshit, not the
Says the
bullshit
janitor.
Glober scientific method, the
Oh,
willy-nilly
character
fairy
assassination.
tale one you guys use.
Says the
actual
janitor.
scientific method. Well, see, that's not necessary.
No, it is
Is it?
necessary because you don't know what you're talking about, sir.
I work in a high
No,
school.
you don't know what you're talking about.
No,
Jeremy
Get
knows
him,
you
what
Brian.
don't.
you're talking
Jeremy,
about.
the
You're
janitor knows what he's
you're
talking about.
trash.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
he
guy
does. Yeah.
at the top,
Because he speaks to
the guy
people
at the
that
top
also
of
know.
Mount
The
Stupid
same
of the
people I speak with.
Dunning-Kruger graph. Gotcha.
You don't even understand. You don't even understand where
writes
the
this
claim
shit?
that science
No one
doesn't prove
does.
things came from. You don't even
Have you
understand where
ne-
that came from.
Good
Have
morning,
you never
Brian.
seen Goodwill Hunting? What's up, Brian?
Yeah, I've seen Good Will Hunting. You know that was a fake story,
What's going
right?
on,
It was
Eli?
fiction.
Shut up, Shield.
It was a
Oh,
work of
so
fiction.
now,
Yeah.
Paid.
now people.
No. Stop. Paid NASA shield is 400 meters long enough for a water level.
Yeah, it's 400. Can you do it for more than 40 meters? You only can do 400 meters.
How many meters do you need for that line to stop being straight?
Oh no, try like a couple hundred miles or something.
So it's flat for a
How
couple
many
hundred
meters does
miles.
it take to change a light
I don't
bulb?
know.
Flat for
You
a
can't
couple
prove
hundred
it.
miles?
You can't prove it. You can prove it's flat for a couple hundred miles.
It's flat
can
until you
prove-
can't see something, then it's a ball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree that the Earth could be locally flat, like 400 meters. You could be flat. You could prove the old, like you say, you could prove the disco ball Earth that everything's flat within 400 meters of you, I suppose.
Yeah, the Earth could be a multi-sided polygon.
Yeah, the disco ball, as they like to say.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian,
Is
should
this
we
an
have a chat here?
actual? Is this an actual new claim, or is it something
No,
that
no,
just you're agreeing
no.
to?
You're not. I'm not making the claim.
As
You're
a
making the claim that
possibility.
everything's local.
I'm not even talking except for just now. That's not me. It's not him. I'm Vance. This is Mr. Grim V. The V stands for Vance.
Yeah, I know
Look
who
at
that
that.
is.
Yeah.
He thinks he knows what the scientific method is.
But even if the Earth were a multi-solid polygon, it's still global, spherical.
Shill, why don't you give us a rundown of all the steps of the scientific method? How you do a science experiment?
How about Brian?
Want to do, isn't it?
What step
How about
one?
Brian? We talk about the observer location, given that it's
There is
actually
no
flat Earth
observer
related.
location.
What do you
One
mean
second,
by
we'll
no
get through
observer
this first.
location?
We'll get through this first. 1 second, Rui. We'll get back to that in a while. There is no observer location. Now,
What do you mean there
step
is no
one, Shill?
observer location?
There is no observer location.
What do you mean?
We don't have an actual location. There is no, and it doesn't. Why would I want to talk about that? That's debunked. I debunked it with my past two videos.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely debunked. Yeah.
I'm not laughing about that. Sorry, guys.
I am.
Don't ask Peyton NASA Shill about science. QE already exposed.
Yeah, QE who knows nothing about science.
Yeah,
by the way,
we
also.
exposed you. Well, we asked him.
Yeah, you also know. He also knows nothing about science, so I imagine you agree with him.
Brian claims we don't have an observer location for Blackpool.
Nice.
For Blackpool.
But it's all debunked, Rui. It's
So
over.
where, if you don't have an observer location, where did he observe it from?
Yeah. Is it a fake
I have
photo,
no
or what do you
idea.
mean?
That's the problem. We don't have any observer location. We have nothing. We have nothing
So the
solid
guy,
from the actual guy.
Was he in a
But
location
it
or was he
doesn't
not?
matter because it's debunked. Why would I want to talk about something that's debunked?
It's not debunked.
Well,
completely
you
debunked.
claim it's debunked.
What do you mean?
Well,
that
was
it
the
is.
guy
It's proven.
somewhere?
My past two videos prove that
Was
it's
he a
debunked.
ghost?
It's debunked. Out into the universe, destroyed, bang.
Can we
over.
get
Alright.
Bev's location
I'll be
and
the
use
judge
his
of
picture
that.
instead, since the argument doesn't change?
Can you both
That's fine,
give?
yeah.
Oh, good example. Or can you both give a quick summary of each side? So I can.
Brian claims that the Blackpool image does not have an observer location. So I'm wondering what that means to begin with.
Okay. All right. So there's question
He's a
number one.
ghost.
No,
He's a ghost. He
Brian
has
has
no
debunked
location.
the whole lot. It's over. It's
You haven't
debunked.
debunked shit, sir.
Oh, I'm not going to talk about something that's debunked, Rui.
Of
It's
course
not
you're not.
It's over. You maybe
have not
want to have a
debunked shit.
conversation about a
What's
something
that?
that's sorry, Shill, I'm
What's that
speaking.
meme?
You want
What's
to
the
maybe
meme
have a
about the
conversation
pigeon
about
shitting on the
something that's
chessboard?
debunked. Well,
Yes.
it's debunked. What's the point? It's over.
That's QE,
whole
by the
thing is
way.
debunked.
This is
Nobody
their,
can
I mean,
debunk
just for the
video.
record, I mean,
They're not
quick
debunked.
summary how it
That's
was
the end of that.
debunked. Is there a quick
Yeah,
summary?
give us a summary of how the observer location, how there's no observer location.
Oh, there was an observer somewhere, but we don't know what the
Right.
location was. We don't know anything
Yes,
about it.
I've shown you my
So
conversation
that's
with
the
him.
end of that.
What a
You
red,
have
what a
shown
red
you.
herring. They can't
You
even
didn't have a
say.
conversation.
Yeah, I like how they
So
escaped the water level.
Because
So
the
that-
I have
main,
shown you
thing
my
that I have
conversation with him.
heard, the main
Didn't
thing
Bev
that
go
I
to the
did
same
hear,
place and take the same picture?
the main thing that I did hear was that you guys couldn't get your story straight on the observer height, not the location.
I will defend my observer height to the death. Would you like to hear my justification for observer height?
No,
No.
I'm
Okay.
just telling you that you're going off on a red herring. Or a
No,
straw man.
I'm literally trying to test whether Brian is having a conversation in good faith. He's not. I've concluded that. And I
Well,
think
if
that's
you're
pretty
gonna
obvious
have
to
a
everyone on the panel as
conversation
well.
in good faith, you would
Come
start
on
with
now,
what
Lewis.
was said and not what wasn't,
No
which was
character.
no one knows the actual observer height. Not no one has a
I'm
location.
telling you. Yeah,
That's
we've
a
got a
straw man.
We don't
location.
have the location.
So if you want
the
to,
location
Yes, we
wasn't
do.
proper location wasn't provided either. We
I
don't
have
anything.
shown
But it
you.
doesn't matter,
I've
because
shown you my
debunked it.
conversation with
It's
the
over.
guy.
It's debunked.
Oh, it's debunked. It's debunked. So who of us
Yeah,
is
it's
having a
debunked.
conversation in good
It's
faith?
debunked. Like,
Well, isn't part
Well,
of
no,
the
hang on, there's no need
altitude
for
or the height
character
also
assassination.
part
I'm
of the
just speaking the
location?
truth.
So specific
speaking the truth,
location
you know what
would
I mean?
include altitude, right? So it's
Right.
just a non-specific location you gave.
The overarching argument to this is that the observer height has a range, and it's a very tight range if you don't know exactly. Some people do know exactly, but within that range, it doesn't change the argument, and you can extend the range even further into an unrealistic amount, and it still doesn't change the argument.
Oh, wait a minute. If the guy's standing in one spot and Bev goes to the same spot, takes the same picture, don't we know A, the location, and B, the altitude?
Perfect.
But it's debunked. It doesn't
How's it
matter.
debunked? If you know,
in
if
the
Bev took the
same
same damn
team.
picture, went to the same damn spot, took the same damn picture.
It's debunked. The
Why?
whole thing
How?
is debunked.
How?
The claim that it's
Look,
all
guys,
curved
Coke
is
and
debunked.
Pepsi.
Because he declared it
My past
thusly.
two videos. It's
How
debunked.
did you debunk
Why
it,
would I
sir?
want to continue speaking about something
You have
that's
not debunked it. You
Sure. Have you
Can I
watched my
hear
last two
Brian
videos?
speak
I have.
about how he debunked it then?
Yeah, he hasn't debunked
Just
it
a
either.
little.
Sorry,
Invite
Stacey?
him on.
Yeah,
I
I've
just wanted to
debunked
hear
Flat
you
Earth
speak
to the
about it
end.
because every time you go to speak about it, you get cut off and you can't even defend
Look.
yourself. And we're being told you're not defending yourself, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's
Oh,
what it's
I'm
supposed
just
to be.
I'm just
That's
declaring
give him
Flat
a
Earth
full
debunked.
minute.
You know, that's what. Look,
Well,
I'll come
just
back in
debunked.
a few minutes. I have a couple of bits to do and I'll come back in a few
Yeah, exactly.
minutes. But it's like, but we'll talk about something. But there's no point in talking about that because it's debunked.
Oh, it's debunked.
There's
Yeah,
no
let's
point
not
talking
talk
about Flat Earth
You, don't,
because
you
it's
can't tell us
debunked.
how it's debunked. Can't tell who debunked it. You just know it's debunked. Gotcha.
Oh no, I debunked it. I debunked it. Yeah, in my past two videos,
How?
completely debunked it. End of story.
How?
It's over.
Come on,
End of
give me,
story.
give me
Past
the
two
give me
videos.
the Reader's Digest version.
I will in a few minutes.
He probably did
I'll
debunk
give-
it.
Stuck with
though.
I'll give
I'll
Brian-
come back in a few
Relax,
minutes.
man.
I'll
Let
give
him
Brian's
have
I'll tell you
version.
all
I
about
agree
how
with
it's
Brian.
debunked. Yeah, it's totally debunked.
Yeah, it's debunked.
It's probably debunked, guys.
It's just debunked.
Like, leave it alone. I'm sure it's debunked, actually.
Yeah, it's debunked.
Hey, Grim.
Sometimes less is more, you know?
Grim.
Debunked.
What's that?
First of all, it's
Debunked.
not like anyone's making a claim in the affirmative. You're not saying this is Earth curve. You're saying this can't work on a flat plane.
Oh, I'm
Therefore,
saying it's Earth
I
curve.
deduce-
Right. I would say the same thing. I would say both actually. I would say this is the effect of curvature, and it's also impossible on a flat plane.
Correct.
Impossible, huh?
And I would say it
Impossible.
could be.
I would
Earth
say, given the
curvature, but it also
observation-
could be some optical.
I'll
effect.
never finish a sentence
No, optical.
because
Sorry.
I have
On a
a whole
flat
bunch of
plane.
lawyers and
No,
people
just
who can
kidding.
finish
I'm
my
just joking.
sentences for me.
I was going to say that.
That's just
Just
amazing.
tickling Brandon's feathers with that one.
Elijah, I agree. This channel is difficult sometimes to get a word in on both sides. I apologize for interrupting
I
you.
apologize. For
Oh,
No, it's
apologize.
fine.
That was
I'm
beautiful.
fine with being interrupted, but it's even worse when I'm at the end of my sentence. It is. That's when someone wants to finish my sentence like we're on a date or something.
You don't like the food? I'm gonna pay for it.
As long as you suck my dick afterwards.
That's funny. That's funny.
But yeah, no, you're right. It's annoying when it happens many times. Yeah.
You spend more time here than with a date anyway, so get used to it.
You guys are all my side pieces.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Elijah, did I tell you I named my son Elijah?
It's an amazing name. Congratulations.
Yeah.
The most beautiful name in the world, right, Elijah? No? All right.
It's nice to me. I love it.
It's a nice one. Eli.
It is a nice name, though.
A lot of powerful figures. Yeah, a lot of powerful figures that had that name.
Okay.
Yeah. My mom was gonna name me Eli, but then my dad wouldn't let her. So, knowing that, I was like, this one goes out to you, Mom.
So anyway,
in a weird narcissistic way, I guess.
so what brings you around today, Ruha?
Don't know.
3.6
Now that Brian's here, though,
megahertz.
I mean, I've asked Brian some really direct questions, just purely about the observer location for the Blackpool shot. He claimed that the photographer said he was at 6 meters. That turned out to be a lie. Tried to explain that the observer location is 6 meters above mean sea level, which I think he agrees with, but then rejects that the actual water level, so the tide level, was 2 meters below that, and then assume he's standing up at an extra 1.5 meters, right? So 9.5 meter observer height above the actual water. So I'm personally, I don't really care too much about the observer height. It doesn't really make a difference. It's more about, is Brian having a conversation in good faith?
Brian, would you like to respond to his accusations? Brian?
Has anyone done the calculations for both limits, the high and low, and see if it makes that much of a damn difference?
Oh, to the main claim of, the mountain should appear higher, it makes no difference, right? If you're doing something with the horizon, like people are doing on the left, then you need to use the actual water level, right? So the actual height above water is about 9.5 meters.
Yeah, so where's the horizon in this picture, though? I thought the horizon was, according to these guys, the apparent median of the sky and ground, which is at the top of the mountains in the background.
Point.
So they're assuming a horizon.
I've been thinking about it actually. I've heard people say horizons can only exist on a globe, and I'm starting to come around to that as well, because the way you determine the horizon on the left of this picture is because you can see that there is part of the mountain behind it missing. That's what defines the horizon in this photo. It's like 200
You really
meters missing.
think that there's a horizon somewhere in there when the sky touches the tops of the mountains?
Yeah, I don't
you
think
guys are
that's
straight
accurate.
retarded.
That would be
I
the
think that's a
horizon.
good.
Could you?
And that's
well,
why I think that's not a good definition.
So on a
I'm not sure I
flat plane, it
understand.
would be all sky then.
Well, that's where you guys say that the horizon always is. Whenever you guys say the horizon, it's always the apparent median of the sky and ground, which occurs in this picture at the top of the mountains.
I'm not sure I understand. Do you see my screen?
Hang on.
Where's the horizon in this picture? Where would you consider the horizon?
Well, I can point to it, but I mean you can't see where I'm pointing.
Here, just tell me. Can you see my mouse? Pointer?
Yeah.
All right, just tell me when to stop.
Tough to tell in this photograph. It would appear to be right there.
There you
Right
go.
there?
Yep.
That's the horizon?
Yep.
Okay.
It would appear to be the horizon.
Appear to be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the apparent horizon, yeah.
It's the horizon.
Yeah, but there's also
appear to be the horizon.
Go to the right as well. I have seen false horizons over in Western Australia where Feppy did an observation. So if you go down a little bit, there's another line there as well. Yeah, there, the second line.
Yeah, it looks like a
It's
shadow.
possible
Like
that's the horizon.
these ones.
Yeah, and I've seen that phenomenon in Perth once. Oh wow. Yeah.
Isn't it funny
tough
how
to
it
tell.
looks like, this just goes on and on past these oil rigs?
Oh, I know, but also look at the left where you are now. See the width of that? See, there's like a kind of a faint second line as well. That's what makes me think that second line could be the actual apparent horizon rather than a false horizon.
Wait. Isn't an apparent horizon a false horizon the same thing? Because you're apparently
No.
seeing that in a location that is not.
No. When I say false horizon, I mean some cloud or fog or something above that gives a line. You can see a line, but it may not be the actual horizon. The only horizon I actually care about is the apparent horizon.
Doesn't matter what causes the horizon. It's the horizon. That's the whole point.
No, I think you guys are missing my point. That line.
Yeah,
that we
we've
call
heard
the
your
horizon,
point. It doesn't
Yeah,
make any
so-
sense.
I've
Whether
seen
it's
a
a
false
cloud,
horizon.
fog, the sky meeting the water, the sky meeting the mountaintop, it doesn't matter. That's the horizon.
It may not be.
Well, anything.
No, that is the
anything
horizon.
anything within or before where the horizon is calculated to be would be called the local horizon, like if a building was in the way or if clouds were in the way. But
I think
that
you guys are
wouldn't
missing my
happen
point.
I'm sorry. What?
I think you guys are missing my point. The band on the left is thicker than the band on the right. All right. If that first line, the top line, was the actual horizon, I would expect it to be the same thickness or the same level. But it's bending on the left, right? It's a bit higher on the left. That's what makes me think it's actually not the horizon. It's some.
Is it higher or is the
cloud
camera
layer or
just
something.
crooked?
I think it's higher. It's thicker. It's definitely thicker, right?
I mean, I agree that it's thicker, but I'm just wondering if it's because the camera's tilted.
I think it's thicker. I'm not convinced that's the horizon. It's also heavily curved on the left as well.
Well, it's all.
So
bumpy,
I'm not
yeah.
certain. Yeah, but I'm not certain that first top line is the actual horizon.
Yeah, it's all wavy. That's
what I mean.
Yeah, so that's definitely not
that's
like
the water.
some geometrical horizon. That's for sure.
That's
Okay.
the water. That's why it's a different thickness.
Oh, it could be the water.
I'm not convinced it's the water.
Excuse you?
I'm not convinced that it's the water.
I don't give a shit what you are convinced of.
Okay, debunked. It's debunked.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey, George.
You know, you ought to save yourself and maybe pass the channel on to someone else. When I first met you about a year ago, you seemed pretty reasonable and on top of things. But the longer you
Shut up, George. Shut up, man. Get the hell out of here.
Your critical thinking
Yeah,
ability.
great opinion there, George.
Roof.
No one's asking you, George. Did anybody ask you?
Triggered.
Thanks, George.
Nobody
That
asked
was
me, but
awesome.
I'm going to tell you something.
That was great.
Hey, George, can the horizon appear higher than the horizontal?
Can the horizon appear on a chicken nugget?
Yeah, you can put a chicken nugget in front of you and create a
And for
horizon.
SE, can the horizon appear on garbage?
Yes, you're so great.
Right.
The troll has entered BC.
Hey, Ed, you clown! They allow you in here. It's only a matter of time before you get booted. Don't worry.
Ed,
To answer that question, Racky, generally not during
Now,
midday.
and for Travis, can the horizon appear on your bald head?
Right.
Ed, the big boys are talking. Go ahead, George. Tell them.
Yeah, here we go and getting personal again, right, George? Like you told me I should just die, like everybody else do. Shouldn't have children.
That's all they have left.
George was going to answer my question.
Personal bullshit. Thank you, troll.
George is going to answer my question real quick. Go ahead, George.
Crickets.
During midday.
The horizon can appear above the horizontal when you have very high refraction, like around sunset or early in the morning during sunrise, but during midday, it's highly unlikely.
That's at your position, right? That's in your area, correct?
Well, any area.
Oh, no, sir. That's your observation in your area, correct?
Well, I have very wide combination of conditions, anywhere from frozen lake to a liquid body of water like you have.
Right.
Various air conditions, temperature conditions, and that's been my observation.
I understand.
Are you saying
So
that
in your area, the horizontal is established, and the horizon will appear above it only in certain conditions, right? Certain times of the day, certain times of the year.
Correct.
Because of why? What causes that?
Temperature condition. Different temperature condition. Gradients.
So the atmospheric conditions causes that?
Yes.
I'm done with this guy.
Okay, I'll follow up.
you
I'll
saying
follow
that
up.
the
I'll follow up.
horizon rise to eye level?
I was first. So,
Okay.
are you saying that this is the reason for the black swan and its quote unquote extreme refraction? Based on everything that you were just asked and agreed to?
I will say yes. Okay.
What?
Are you speaking to me or George?
Yo, why?
Ruhif, shut up. Ruhif, shut up.
Fuck off, kick your ass.
That was obviously to George. Even a dumb flat earther like me knows that. Go ahead, George. What about the black swan?
I've never really gotten involved with this black swan thing because there's just too much distortion. It's a very poor image. So
it's a great, safe answer, George. Thank you.
No, it's not. Distortion, aka extreme refraction, like most people affectionately call it.
Well, you can see that it's all.
So he has no idea what the argument is.
You can obviously see this photograph that's posted is obviously after sunset, and during sunset and shortly after, you have extreme temperature conditions because once the sun near the horizon, especially when it sets, the temperature changes dramatically.
That is such bullshit.
I'm attempting.
No, it's not bullshit. You can actually feel it here on the lake when the sun gets near the horizon.
You guys are helping him slip through the cracks like water. Forget it. It would have been nice and concise, but forget it.
No, he wiggled out of it. He didn't give you an answer to your question.
All they can do is wiggle.
I did give you an answer. I said this is
if you would have
obviously
allowed me
taken
to
after
clarify,
sunset, and the conditions changed dramatically at that time of day.
That's
So-
a non-answer,
so what
George.
you're-
Listen. Here's the question, right? So the question that Rakia asked you is, or not Rakia? No. The question that was it Elijah? You asked him the question.
Yep.
Right. So he just asked you to apply your answer to Rakia to the Black Swan, and you basically said, "Well, the conditions are so crazy, blah blah blah." But still, that's not a direct answer. Although
it is a direct answer. I can't analyze this because I don't know.
No, that's a direct answer.
But it sounds
All
like
I can do is guess at the temperature profile from my own experience as to what happens around sunset, and this is obviously after sunset. The lights have come on.
Sunset's got nothing to do with it, George. Sunset has
Yes,
nothing
it
to
has
do with
everything.
Yo, but
Sounds
how
like
do
a
you know that
cop-out.
I wasn't satisfied with it? Sounds like a yes to me because he's saying, well, distortion, which that's what they call
Yeah,
refraction.
that's
Well, what
the
are
point.
you
So
asking
why are you guys
specifically?
talking over my
What
knowledge,
are you
bro?
asking? What are you specifically asking regarding this photograph?
The horizon is 10 times further than the math predicts. I'm assuming, because I'm not looking at the photo, but the one that looks like the lights are on, I guess that would be 3 times further. And I guess what you're saying is, yeah, there is a refraction going on, aka
there could
distortion.
be.
You don't know exactly what,
I've seen
but
things like this where you have things loomed up way in the distance, up above the foreground, and that's what could be happening here, and that would be the most likely
The horizon
explanation.
is always above the foreground.
That's the most
yeah,
likely.
I keep setting him up, and you
Sorry.
guys keep talking right after.
It's one of the things our panel's best at. Go for it.
Exactly. What's the observer height, Brandon?
Yo, what's the observer height? I don't even know what we're talking about. Yo, so okay.
Come on, Elijah, you got him.
My question is this:
Oops.
because there's more than just the 2 screenshots, aka 2 videos, where one looks like it's at dusk, and one is who knows when exactly it is. There's about 4 or 5 videos. Are you saying in all of those cases, it's refraction?
I haven't seen these videos that you're talking about, so I am not going to comment on that which I have not seen.
Fair enough. Maybe one day I'll provide you with them during the show if you like.
That's fine.
Let me ask
But don't
George a
ask
question,
me
if
to
I may.
comment. Don't ask me to comment on something I am not familiar with.
I wouldn't, George. I'm
George,
not
let
that
me
rude.
ask you a question.
I have a
Which
question
part
after I
of
see, okay?
refraction, name
No,
us which one
ask
of the
him if he's
refraction
familiar with the
causes...
water level.
Yeah, I'll do that after. But since we're on this, I don't want to destroy him right away. George, which one of the causes of refraction makes the effect of the horizon going back like 9 miles? Please name it to us and explain us the mechanism, how it works.
It's looming.
Yeah, where's your evidence for that, please? Citation.
First, tell me, what do you mean by making the horizon go back 9 miles?
Well, we have an observation, right? And your model says that the horizon should be at a certain spot, but it's 9 miles further back. How do you explain that? Which part of the refraction?
Okay, I got you now. It appears to be 9 miles back.
Wait.
Like I just said, I have
back up that video.
I have a vast number of videos and photographs that do just that, where the background has been loomed up because of refraction, and the horizon appears to be 6-9 miles away because that water level has risen up.
Cool story. We're not talking about up.
It's not a story.
We're
it's a
talking
very
about
real
back.
thing. I have.
We have an oil
videos
rig.
that demonstrate that.
No, you
Okay,
can't.
hold on.
No.
Stop. Everybody, stop. Brandon.
I have a
stop the
question
video.
when
Stop the
people
video,
allow me.
Brandon. Go back. Can you go back to the video, Brandon?
So you did not answer my question.
Hold on, Nessie. Hold
It's
on.
game over
He
for you,
did. He
George.
said looming.
Okay, hold on. Be quiet, Phil. Okay, listen very carefully. Stop it right now, please. Stop the video right now. Okay, now this is the first time that I'm watching this video that you're playing right now, Brandon. Okay, George is incorrect. This is not an evening shot. This is dawn. The sun is to the
Okay,
left.
either way, it's the same effect.
No.
Yes.
Why does
yes.
that matter?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, stop saying yes like
The
you're with your wife
temperature
right now,
changes.
Phil.
The air temperature changes dramatically at dawn and at dusk.
Okay, George.
And so what?
George, unless you have documentation for this location that happened, that is irrelevant and non-consequential. You can't submit
You
that.
never have documentation, Travis. What the hell are you talking about?
Shut up, Ed.
You have no
that-
documentation to support your thesis.
Excuse me?
All you're doing, Travis, is pulling shit out of your ass.
No,
I'm
your
not.
fantasy
Okay,
died a
hold on.
long time ago.
Hold on. I'm not pulling shit out of my ass because this video.
Yeah, that's exactly
shot,
what you do.
Hold on, shut up, Ed. This video is shot from Santa Barbara, and when he pans out, the sun is to the left. It's dawn.
Okay.
Hey, look, the crane's straight. That means the
And-
Earth's flat.
And what is your point? I'm saying at dawn, with the sun to the left, the air temperature is changing dramatically as the sun rises above the horizon.
It doesn't matter. The horizon is beyond the oil rig, George. Your fantasy is over right here. There's nothing you can say,
during
George.
the day.
There is nothing you can say,
during the
George.
day, so the temperature has to rise.
Okay, that's an
as the
ad
sun
hoc.
comes up.
That is an
I have
ad
a
hoc
question for the
response.
ballers.
You have no evidence for
I have
your
no
claim
evidence.
right now.
So you deny that evenings are not colder.
I'm not.
Gregory,
I want to
midday.
answer your
Claim,
question.
George,
Gregory,
why
I
do
want to
you-
answer your question.
why
Why
do
does
you-
it matter? Dawn and dusk, right? Let me answer the question.
No, hold on. Listen, no. It matters. First of all, it matters because he claimed based on. Hold on. It matters because George made the claim that based on his looking at this video that it was the evening. It is not the evening. So
No, we're not
I
asking
can see
you. We're
now.
asking George.
Yeah,
so
that
what?
doesn't
matter
I
what
can
time of
see-
the
really
day
a
or
I
night
can
it
see
is.
now.
Who cares?
Hello. I can see now as you back away that it is dawn, but when you were zoomed in, it could have been dawn or dusk.
What does it matter whether it's morning
It
or
could
evening?
have been Christmas Eve. It could have been
trying to answer
Valentine's
Gregory.
Day.
It
It doesn't matter.
I'm on my
Is your-
knees. I'm
I have
begging.
a question
Is your
for the
point
ballers.
that it
Right
matters?
there. When you
Travis.
stop right there.
Is
No,
your
it's
point
no
that
way
it
to
matters
tell
because
the
of
sun
the
is up.
if no one
You
else
back
wants
off, then I
to
can tell it's
actually
dawn.
answer the question, I will attempt.
Does it
You
matter?
don't have to
Does it
fucking
matter
tell
because-
him it doesn't matter if someone is here saying why it would be relevant or what would
Is
be
it
relevant to that
because of the
question.
position of the sun being because of refraction?
Bro,
and
what's
temp-
irrelevant?
Hold on,
Bro,
hold on.
what's irrelevant?
I'm trying to
no,
explain it.
No, tell me what's irrelevant.
I'm
and
trying
what,
to explain it. Don't give me no fucking orders. You heard?
Tell me what's
Right.
irrelevant,
Okay.
because Gregory said, what
Travis.
is the difference between it being dawn or dusk?
The
What is
position of
difference?
the fucking sun affects a different refraction, you jackass.
That is self-evident, stupid. I'm talking about the effects that would be different between dawn and dusk. You're not answering that.
Yeah, there was different
For
effects from
instance,
dawn and dusk.
For instance, right? During dawn, the temperature is increasing. During the evening, it's decreasing, which would result in two different effects. Theoretically, at least.
Yeah, great job. And also the angle of the light. Why did you dismiss his,
Not
what he said?
necessarily.
Sure
Not
it does.
necessarily. It
Angle of the
depends
light
on
would
the
have
air
a huge
temperature
difference in
versus
what
the
you
water
see.
Dude, isn't that exactly what I said? The position of the sun
Yeah,
would affect the temperature.
exactly. I was
Exactly what
taking
I
up
just
for it.
said.
Yeah.
But the
Temperature, angle
devastation
of the
here
light,
that we're not
elevation.
seeing, gentlemen, the devastation is the oil rig. We
Argue
know
about
the
nothing.
distance of the oil rig. This is where they die. Right there.
Looming, you idiot. Looming.
Shut your mouth, you
One of the
clown who's
ballers,
talking to
sorry,
you.
could one of the ballers, please, could one of the ballers please restate the correct Black Swan argument?
It's interesting that you come back when I drop, Brian.
I didn't. How am I supposed to know if you dropped? I wasn't at my phone.
What
Now,
an
please answer the
obfuscation
question.
chamber.
Answer the question. Could one of the ballers please restate the
It's
Black
not
Swan
about
argument?
you,
Thank
Ruhif.
Folks don't know who they're talking to, who's not being spoken to. Folks are not listening.
What's the question,
Which
Brian?
one of them? It's just any baller. Anyone put yourself forward and restate
Yeah,
the Black Swan
I'll show a
argument.
good. I'll show
they
some
have
good
no
faith
clue.
and
There's
answer your
no way.
question.
I'll bet $100 if any one of them could state it right now.
Well, write it
What's
in
the
the
question?
Let them
chat.
say it. Let them say it.
What's the question?
Can you restate the Black Swan argument, please?
QE's argument.
The Black Swan argument, yes, formulated by
QE's
Quantum
formula. On a globe, the distance to the horizon can be no more than 1.22 times the square root of the observer height in feet. The horizon is much further than that, therefore globe is not like Earth is not a globe. Close enough?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
that's exactly right. So you do understand.
I owe you $100, Ruhif.
Thanks. And what's the next?
So no geometric horizon then.
What?
No geometric horizon then.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I've explained, multiple times, the geometric horizon is irrelevant. The only horizon that we
It's
see
not
is
irrelevant.
the
No, it's
apparent
the
horizon.
very we can look
Wait
at
a
the
minute.
linchpin of
Wait
the
a minute.
argument.
Wait a minute.
And
How
it'll
is
show
it
exactly
possible?
where the
And when you guys are
geometric
claiming
horizon-
sphericity, right? Sphericity, physical sphere. Then you're saying that the geometrical horizon, it doesn't matter. How is that? How does that work?
It's the only thing that matters, Matrix.
Things go over the
There's not
apparent
length that matters.
horizon. The geometric horizon is what we would see if there was no atmosphere. We have an atmosphere,
Okay.
therefore the horizon we see is
Call the funeral home and
Wow,
bury
you
the
don't
body.
realize how dead you are, bro.
Yeah.
Say that one more time, Ruhif. That's
Yeah,
all.
Like you
please
literally
say it again.
denied the veracity and importance of your own argument.
Right. When we talk about the geometric horizon, we are talking about the unrefracted horizon, correct?
You agreed on the formula, correct?
The refracted horizon.
I'm willing to tell you why refraction and the way you're trying to apply it, because it's definitely some shit that the Globers made up. I'm willing if y'all will give me 60 seconds to tell you why it doesn't make sense.
Okay, and then I'll have 60 seconds to tell you why it does. Go.
Okay. You're saying that the horizon, the apparent horizon, is appearing further because of refraction, because of the light meeting your eye. Yes?
Yep.
Hey,
Okay, so
hang on, let Elijah
Hey,
go.
Elijah, this is what I'd like you guys to do for me if you want to get me
George, somebody was talking. Don't be so fucking rude. Don't be so fucking rude. Don't be so fucking rude. Didn't you hear somebody speaking? Fuck is wrong with you?
Go to that
What's wrong with you,
location.
George? No one wants to hear you right now. We're listening to them.
Go to that location and take the same photographs.
I believe the Matrix was on deck.
Go ahead, Ruhif. Listen to George. He needs to white knight for you here. Rumpus the other guy and white knight for Ruhif, all in the same sentence, huh, George?
Elijah, go.
thank you.
I'm not
Without
white
interruption.
knighting.
George.
I'm saying go to that location.
Shout out to James Mays, $20. Welcome to Flat Earth, folks. The globe is dead. Amen. Look at the picture on the screen. Look at this video. JD 199. Welcome to the globe. Flat Earth is dead. Look at the screen. Look at this video.
The light that is meeting your eye around this curved surface, right? Because it's a curved surface, you guys also say that the atmosphere is curved. Yes?
It is, yeah. Yep.
Okay. Light travels in straight lines unless met by a, let's just say, thicker, denser part of the atmosphere in which it would be bent. Yes?
Light bends in a density gradient. That's a little bit technical. Maybe I'll respond to that in a minute.
Okay, that's fine. So now, the light, in order for it to deviate, right, because it's going over a ball, so it's going into the sky, into a less dense area. How would it then bend down when it requires a more dense area?
Because it bends towards the more dense medium. regardless of what direction it's traveling, it might be angled up. It's still hitting a density gradient where the more dense air is below it. It will bend downwards.
Yeah, but
It will
it's
start to go
going
down.
into a less dense area. So
Yes,
it's
but the
hitting a
more dense
less
is below
dense
it.
area.
The more
Yeah, but
dense is below
it's
it.
not touching that though.
Yes, it is. It's in a density gradient. So I do have
No,
to
it's
explain
leaving the
technical component.
densest part, which is on the Earth's surface.
Yeah, but you're getting confused with the angle the light is traveling with and the
No, I'm not.
density gradient.
No, I'm
The
not.
gradient
not.
the density
No, I'm not.
gradient is more dense below.
If I'm looking at if I'm talking about the light from the object, let's humor you guys and say that the horizon is an object for today, then the light from that horizon is going over the curve, which
Yeah,
means
sure.
it's pointed towards the sky at some point, which means it would have to hit a denser medium to bend.
The density gradient is more dense at the surface. Do you want to do like a simple Snell's law of what you're trying to say?
Wouldn't it depend on the observer's point of view?
What's the path that Elijah just said?
It's a deviation from straight.
So in your
the problem is one for two. Sorry, go on. I thought you.
Yeah, in your example, Elijah, you've got the more dense medium below and the less dense
It's
above,
not
right?
my example. It's Andrew Thomas Young's example.
Yeah, fine, whatever. Right. So
There's
you're
a diagram and everything.
Yep. So from the more dense medium into the less dense medium, it will still curve back towards the more dense medium. Just do a Snell's law diagram for it. Because the more dense medium is below.
Well, in Snell's law, it talks about light deviation from one medium to another. In this case, in this imaginary thought experiment, it's going through a less dense area.
Yeah, and it will still bend towards the more dense. Just do it, like, seriously do the diagram of Snell's law.
Well, I rest my case.
He's not understanding
I'm satisfied.
Ruhef is not getting it.
I will draw it. I've got to go in a minute. I'll draw it for you, Elijah.
I'm satisfied with that soundbite. Thank you very much.
I have the next question. You know Al-Biruni, did he send a tangent to a refracted horizon?
Snell's law. Okay.
You know Al-Biruni, did he send a tangent to a refracted horizon?
It would have been, yeah. Anyway, I got to go, guys. I will draw.
So no
What do you
geometry.
mean no geometry? Why is that no geometry?
You can't send a tangent to refraction. You can't do geometry
That's
on
exactly
refraction.
what the 706R
You
is.
can't do
No, you can't. You're doing geometry with a fantasy, a distortion.
Sorry. 706R is based on a radius value, and that radius value is based on a geometric horizon, not a refracted one.
Right.
Sorry,
Yeah, that's what the 706R horizon is.
You're literally giving your globe.
Oh, it's debunked. It's debunked.
It's debunked.
It's debunked.
Absolutely. Sorry for cutting
It's
off
debunked.
the talking there. I just
It was
needed to
never
get
bumped.
that in.
Good one. It was never bumped.
Never bumped. All right.
Good one, bro.
I'll draw a diagram for Elijah later. All right. I gotta go. I'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Yeah.
Run away, Rohef.
I like that.
Really
I beg you, please bring that diagram. I would love it.
So who's next on the list then? What about Nasser Share or someone? Let's see what he has got to say. Let's go through the list.
Oh, you
I
guys
gotta
never
say
seen
that.
the famous Ruhif drop numbers?
Oh yeah, I've seen
For
it.
real?
Yeah. No, I've seen it over at.
Of course, you guys
Ranty.
must. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
The globe is dead.
Oh yeah.
So, sorry for over talking whoever was trying to talk there, but I needed to get that in. That was like
Oh, no
that's
worries.
like the final part. Sorry.
I still love you.
I don't like to be rude.
In my opinion, this video on screen right now is like the best we see too far evidence I've ever seen. I mean, you look at these oil rigs and you're telling me that that is a fucking optical illusion because of bending
I mean, the kind of results they have to result to keep the ball.
No, you don't see far enough.
It's like it doesn't even matter. It's like they have no
I mean, they
margin of
literally
error.
said, right, Matrix. They literally said the geometric horizon doesn't matter in regards to the veracity of their argument.
So hypothetically, you could see something for 200 miles, and they will literally excuse it away. They have no margin of error. Their globe is unfalsifiable.
Yep.
Why
The
hasn't
horizon
anyone
is
never
not
taken
physical. It's just perspective. It doesn't matter.
Well, they just falsified
Why
the
hasn't anyone taken a why hasn't
matrix.
anyone taken a photograph of the
They just
Eiffel Tower
falsified the
from
model
South
matrix
Shore of
when they gave away geometry, because the whole model
George,
starts on
I've done
geometry.
that
They
over
gave
and
it all
over and
away.
over again, George.
By the way, George, are you?
You have not
Yes,
gone
I
I'm gonna give it
have,
right back.
George.
I'm gonna give it right back to you,
take a
Travis.
picture
In
of
which
the
I will say
Eiffel
Travis,
Tower.
because I am kind of taking it away. But George, are you going to be satisfied if someone recreates the Black Swan and takes it at dawn, midday, somewhere around 3 and dusk? Would you be satisfied that it's a total
Well-
debunking of the globe if the horizon is still behind the?
I would like. Can I answer? I would like to
I thought
see
that
a
was-
photograph taken from that same position, if you want, at dawn and dusk. But I also need photographs taken every hour, starting at 11 o'clock to 3 in the afternoon. 11 a.m., 12, 1, 2, and 3.
Are you going to pay that person for his time?
That's a joke. That's a joke.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
George, George.
Okay,
just
listen, George.
just that the angle of the light has anything to do with it, right, George?
George, first of all, I have those pictures. They are not of the same location in Santa Barbara where BMLSB took those photographs, but I've done the same observations in Ventura and on the Chesapeake. Same location, all throughout the day, different effects of the observation. So what do you want?
You guys are claiming you want me to analyze the Black Swan. All right, I will. You go to the same position, take those same photographs.
I have other black swans. I have other black swans.
It's on screen right now too.
This is BS.
Probably
Travis.
dozens
Where's
of
the
them.
documents
Travis
with the
alone.
weather conditions,
This
Travis?
is BS, Travis, because there was absolutely no reason to do that. Right? They gave away their geometric horizon when Rumpus admitted that it's only in the mathematics. And it was only just admitted a minute ago that Alberuni sent a tangent to a refracted horizon. There is no geometry. There is no globe. George
That's
doesn't
exactly
have
right.
anything, and he knows it. Yeah.
Ruhif just
So-
agreed that at 1.6 miles, the water and the atmosphere conditions, refraction, is looming up the water at like 1.6 miles in the Black Swan observation. That's craziness.
Yeah.
Not only that,
I mean-
he recited where the horizon should be in their fantasy. And look, right ahead, what Brandon is showing right now kills your fantasy. That's it. Game over.
This really is good footage, but I did want to point one thing out, George.
Where is it?
Do you notice that when you look at these cranes, that sometimes they are bendy and sometimes they're not? Like I'll pause it a couple times. Ready? That's not too bendy. Oop, it's bending more now. Just watch the cranes bend. They're kind of waving back and forth, and if you notice, there's obviously either some heat or water or moisture in there, I would say, that is, blowing by and causing that kind of rippling effect that we're all very familiar with from just being alive and being outdoors. Would you agree?
I'm sorry, I was communicating with someone on a business deal. I didn't see what you're doing. Do it again.
Okay. I just was going to ask you, you notice that sometimes these cranes, as they zooms in, they're straight, like right there. It's pretty straight. But at other times, you'll see that they're bending. And one thing I've noticed is when we get
Yeah, that's atmospheric. Yeah, that's atmospheric turbulence.
Oh, atmospheric turbulence. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought too. It's just like that heat. We used to call it not heat haze, but yeah, kind of heat haze. That's what we used to call it in the summertime, at least. When
Well, we call it shimmer.
Anybody
Yeah.
ever heard that before? Atmospheric turbulence. Is that a new one?
No, I think I've heard that before. Yeah, I've heard that.
I call it heat haze, Brandon, as well.
Do you know, George, that some people try to use the fact that that heat haze blows by and makes that crane look bendy sometimes, use that as an excuse to explain away why we see the horizon past that last oil rig. Does that seem honest to you? It seems like they're missing the point on that turbulence.
I don't
Man,
know.
whether
The
it's
heat
honest
wave,
or disingenuous, we
turbulence,
could never know. It's just
Yeah, it's staggering. Or do you
Can I-
think that same heat
Do you
haze
want me
could
to
bring the
answer this?
horizon back
Hold on.
9 miles?
Hold on, George didn't get to answer. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Oh,
George. Go right ahead.
Yeah, the heat waves, the atmospheric turbulence, or what we call shimmer, is more of a dynamic effect. No, that's not going to be responsible for any looming or things going on in the background necessarily.
Okay, so
because
which
that-
effect brings the horizon back 9 miles, George? Please tell us.
I told you that before.
Biodual, were you listening to that exchange that I just had with George regarding the atmospheric turbulence?
Oh,
Currently
yeah.
driving. The term I know of, but I'm currently driving, so I can't get into too much. Just listening.
What a convenient time for you to be busy. All right. I remember the other night you telling me that this black swan was negated entirely. The fact that the horizon is far past the last oil rig because the crane is bending. And I'm showing you here in this video. We very clearly, George and I just agreed on what is causing that effect there. It has nothing to do with the horizon whatsoever or how far we can see. Would you agree with me now that we've gone over this tonight?
Brandon,
we
it's
can't
my
hear you if you're talking.
experience that Brandon?
Yeah, go ahead. I guess Biodual's not going to answer. I think he's driving, so that's okay. Go ahead, George.
They're dropping like flies.
Yeah, it's my experience that when you see these turbulences occurring because of atmospheric turbulence and the heat shimmer, that tends to be more in the foreground rather than in the background. Sometimes you see it way in the distance, but it just depends upon how far you're looking, and you can have warmer air masses between you and the background, and it can appear anywhere. It can be
Who cares if it's dancing the ballerina?
No, that was a good
So,
explanation.
George,
How does that
That's what I
affect
said
the
the other night.
horizon?
That's what I
So,
told
George,
Biodual.
those optical effects that happen in the foreground can obstruct things in the background, such as heat haze.
I'm not going to participate anymore because you have rude SOBs like.
You interrupted everyone
Yeah,
earlier.
that's him saying you have
Crazy old man.
no way to answer us.
Come on,
or
George. Say
Rakia,
sons of
and I'm
bitches.
putting my tail behind my legs and cutting out. Shout out, Rakia.
Well, now
so. With
we
that
got
being
back
said,
to
from
the
George,
bottom of the
what
bending
does that
crane mystery.
observable phenomenon prove?
That's what you call a mathematician, a guy that brags all the time that he knows more than, right? He's smarter than us, right? But we ask him two questions and he runs away. And I didn't even ask him the hard one yet.
Oh, SE, guess who was here last night? At the end of the show.
Please let me know.
The guy who was over at Jose's, we were trying to always get over here. I can't remember his name now that I brought it up.
It was Master Khalik.
Master Khalik.
Let me guess, ISS.
Yep, exactly. That's what he wanted to talk about. And he wanted to tell me that because the ISS is at a certain distance, going at a certain speed, and we can see it, means we're living on a giant ball. I couldn't understand how he was connecting those two things, but that's what he said.
So completely missing the begging the question.
Yeah, bro, I had if you want to call it a debate on Jose's. Jose had to come in and not only tell him stuff, but present stuff for him. But anyway, that's another story. Bro, that's all he has. That's all he talks about, the ISS. You see it? Somebody else has measured it. He doesn't know how. So that means the Earth is a globe. That's all he has. That's all he talks about. It's truly amazing. Bro, I asked him some questions about the ISS. What heat is it outside? What's the cooling of it? Is it in the thermosphere? He had no answers. Zero.
Man, I wish
anybody could go hear it.
I don't know. I don't know how you can become a one-dimensional Jake on a plane, but damn.
Right?
That's all.
Brandon, my park. What was the question?
Oh, good. Yeah. So George and I were just having a discussion. We were watching this video here, and I noticed that in this video, sometimes the crane is bendy and sometimes it's not. Like here, it's pretty straight. Kind of go in and it's bending a little bit there. It's straight, and then we noticed a phenomena as you get closer, which is called atmospheric turbulence, and it's just kind of air blowing around, hot air, and it causes this effect. It's also called shimmering. So my question to George was, does that mean that the fact that this crane is bending is due to that phenomena and has nothing to do and is in no way connected to where the horizon appears or how far you can see? And he agreed with that. And I just wanted to follow up with you because the other night you were telling me that the black swan was debunked because of bendy crane.
Oh yeah. So to be very specific, yes, the atmosphere is always moving, and you're going to have different pressures come in. It's going to be different densities. It's moving. It's dynamic. It's not static, in which it's going to stay the same condition for all time. It's always changing in some way. So yes, that shimmering, it's the same effect that you have like on a hot concrete, and you're looking at a distance, and it's got that wavy effect to it. Yeah, that's just a part of the atmosphere being dynamic and ever changing in its properties. But as far as that specific condition allowing us to see farther on a sphere, I wouldn't necessarily say that. What I would say is, yes, the atmosphere exhibits different qualities depending on the density, temperature, things like that. And that's just one of those things that it can do.
So not looming. Absolutely not looming, right?
Right. So I said a bunch of words, and if you didn't listen, that's your problem, Essie. But I thought I was very descriptive.
Bendy crane is not connected to where the horizon is in the Black Swan, right?
No, not directly. What I would say is that is evidence for the atmosphere is obviously doing something that's not. It's causing things to not look normal.
As it always does.
To a certain extent, yes.
Right.
Sometimes worse than other times. Sometimes it can be very clear with no distortion. Sometimes it can be extremely distorted, and we know when that happens. But I wouldn't say that because the cranes are bending, that is why we see the horizon. I wouldn't say that. I would say we obviously see that shit's going on in the atmosphere because of the bendy cranes. So everything that we see there is not 100% reliable. That's how I would describe it.
Wow, that's quite the stretch. Would you say that it's a somewhat of a red herring if I were to say to you, the horizon is far past where we should see it, should be here, we can see it back there, and you were to say, yeah, but bendy crane. Would that be a red herring?
Can you repeat it? I'm sorry, someone came in my window. Go ahead.
If I pointed out to you that we can see much further than we should, as calculated on the ball model here, we see the horizon past the distant oil rig, and you were to respond and say, yeah, but bendy crane, would I be fair in saying that that is a red herring?
That specific point, sure, but I would interject after your first sentence and say, we do see as far as we should according to calculations, because we only calculate for geometric horizon. We're ignoring an atmosphere, and we can't do that. But it would be, I think it would be a little bit of a red herring to only specify the cranes. But I think the reasoning behind it allows us to say, or allows us to recognize that, yes, shit is fucked up in that image. We shouldn't rely on something in that image to base reality on.
Pretty sure you could say that about any long distance image. So that's I would agree.
What you're saying is
pretty much invalidated any photo ever.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is it's refraction where I want it to be refraction, but when we point out something that is also refracted, we're going to ignore that.
No, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is
that's what Brandon is saying.
It is?
Yeah, it's
basically it's pretty specific about pointing at the bendy crane is a red herring. Would you agree with that, Peyton S. Shill, that the bendy crane has nothing to do with how far we could see?
Actually, it has everything to do with what we can see because with
All
its
you can eat
refractive.
red herring buffet.
Not red herring.
Yeah.
It's showing that there's a huge amount of refraction going on.
Huge
Okay,
amount.
so
How
what?
did you
Can I question
calculate
that,
huge? How did you quantify it huge?
A lot, as in Benty Crane.
Shut up,
Okay, so
Shield.
what?
What do you mean, so what? It's showing that there's a large amount of refraction
I
going
like
on.
this guy. He's
So
just going to
no,
come in
go
here
ahead
and
and
own
shake
what
our
we
ass to
clearly
gobble up
just
the red herring.
What's the
substantiated
water
as a
doing?
red herring.
no.
It's not a red herring.
I mean,
It's exactly the truth.
Okay,
think
can I
about
just
this.
jump in
We
real
just
So
got
quick?
done
relevant to
with
the
like
shape of the
20
earth.
minutes.
So
You want to
what?
ignore
Now,
the
hold on,
Bendy
guys.
Crane.
Substantiated
You
with
want to ignore the
George.
Bendy Crane.
Talked about.
What about
Dooley
that
says,
stuff
yeah, it's kind
underneath
of a
it?
red herring. And paid NASA Shill's just going to come in here and fucking own it, dude. Look at the balls on this guy.
The thing is,
Good
what you don't
catch,
want to
bro.
realize
Oh,
is that there's
ACDC made a
Brandon.
song
there's
about
a
that.
butt ton of refraction going on here, but we're just going to ignore it. We're going to ignore it where we want and only pay attention to it where we want. But please don't point out the Bendy Crane.
No, okay.
My argument is fallacious. What's it to you?
Oh shit!
No,
I
we
don't
know
even
you're
know
here
where
to do
start.
nothing but obfuscate and
Yeah,
say
yeah.
nothing.
Let's,
You know, Brandon,
Forget about it.
let's ignore the refraction. Please don't mention the Bendy Crane.
You know,
because,
I work
that
at
kinda
NASA.
shows
Well, what
I
about the
get
stuff
paid. I
underneath
get
that's
big
going
bucks. What's
way
the problem,
past all
living
that
life?
shit?
What's it to you?
Go ahead,
for us,
Elijah.
Forget
us
about it.
Americans here,
We'll
for
ignore
us
the part we want,
Americans,
but we'll keep this part, but ignore that part, and
You're refuting my fallacious argument?
Okay.
Forget
Watch me
about
stump him
it.
with one question. Okay, genius. Paid NASA Shill.
wait,
Answer me this
Let
question.
me get my joke off before you.
Sure, please go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't even know how us Americans have Super Bowls, bro. What is going on there?
Yeah.
So how you
So,
gonna
paid
make
NASA
it?
Shill.
You got a bunch
Perhaps
of
you would like to
mathematicians
tackle the
that
question.
are like, all right.
Hey, paid NASA Shill, perhaps you can enlighten us with your multiple degrees in smartness. Which one of the visual effects causes the horizon to go back 9 miles in the Black Swan?
Oh, you want me to, according to you, or according to the fact it's just refraction? You want a specific type of refraction?
You can answer the question any way you please. But preferably, yeah, which one of the causes that you guys claim, right?
Of refraction?
Which one
Apparently,
causes?
according to the flat earthers, apparently.
No,
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I can't believe it didn't say Google it.
I know he's not going to answer.
We're gonna have red herrings
Me
at the
too. I can't
obfuscation
believe you didn't
table.
say Google it.
I'm trying not to say Google it because obviously you guys can't Google, so we got to pick it. How about
So
DuckDuckGo?
if that horizon really isn't where we
Yeah,
see
we can't
it at,
Google
how
it.
do
You can't
get the
think.
dip angle?
So you have no answer, paid? Just like the other guy had no answer?
Well, I don't really care what kind of refraction it is.
So it's the
You don't care about
9-mile
the reality that we're
bendy,
trying to describe and explain. Okay.
super
No,
duper
we have to
wavy
ignore parts of
refraction.
it. We can only talk about the refraction of the horizon. We can't talk about the Bendy Crane part, right?
I know we are.
Hold
That's
on,
the
guys.
thing. We
Listen.
are.
You guys are always missing this opportunity. Hold on. Paid, you're saying that the Bendy Crane negates the distant horizon as
It's negate. It just shows that there's a butt ton of refraction going on.
okay.
That's all.
So just ignore what he just said.
Okay, hold on.
Couldn't the Bendy Crane be explained by atmospheric turbulence?
Hold on. Just because there's a buttload of refraction doesn't mean that we're seeing a horizon farther than the globe allows for.
Yeah, it shows that the apparent horizon is further than normal. That's correct. So what?
Right. So your Bendy Crane bullshit is irrelevant.
So which one of the effects is that, is what I'm asking you. You just admitted it. Which one causes the horizon to appear further?
What do you want to call it? We'll call it the SE Montreal effect. How about that?
Well, at least you didn't say Google it. Can I say something to him a second? Do you realize, NASA Shill, that if the apparent horizon was exactly 1.22 miles away from the photographer there, because he's at a 1 foot observation height, that still debunks the globe because it's an apparent horizon?
The apparent horizon is the
point is that
the geometric horizon is a necessary antecedent for the apparent horizon. I got you. Yes.
You see, also the geometric horizon is also an apparent horizon.
I know it's a real calculated
the point
horizon.
is that ye only claim.
What was that? What was that? Is it real what? Is it real what? Hey, Nasser Shield?
It's
a
place you can
walk to. What was it that you said? It was a real calculated position. What was that?
Yeah, it's a real. It's a calculated position. We know
Let
what
him
it is.
get him.
We can calculate it.
Let him get him.
We didn't have an atmosphere.
You guys heard it. You guys
If we didn't
heard
have an
it.
atmosphere, if we didn't have an atmosphere,
You
we
heard
would
it
see
here
it there all the
live.
time.
Yeah. If we weren't living in reality, we'd have a geometric horizon. That's
No, if
what
we
basically
didn't have atmosphere, it would be exactly where we calculated it to be.
Yeah, if we didn't have reality, then it would be.
If we didn't have an atmosphere, it would be where we calculated it to be.
Yeah, but if we didn't live in reality, we would have.
If we didn't have an atmosphere, we could calculate where it is. Yes, we understand atmospheric conditions.
Atmosphere.
So let me get this straight. Hold on a second.
If we didn't,
well, you want
So,
excuse me.
in the Black Swan image,
We have an
so in
atmos
the-
flat. Excuse me, because we did the atmos flat.
Just say Atmos.
Because
Atmos.
the oxymoron is
Just
so much
Atmos
better.
will do.
Yeah, sure.
Atmos flat, Atmos plane. What do you want to call it? I'm sorry. I'll use any word you guys want.
Just
Atmos
Brandon,
So let me get this
Atmos is
straight
fine.
real quick. Hold on. In the Black Swan image, you're saying that
You guys are still
the
flawed with
horizon,
Black Swan.
the horizon really isn't that far away. It's all due to refraction and stuff, right? So if that's the
Oh no, wait,
case,
the horizon is
then
where
how do
you
you
see it is.
how do
Yes,
you get your dip angle? So you're saying that when the horizon is where it needs to be for the sphere, then it's correct. Is that what you're saying?
I don't
So
know what
as
you're
soon
saying.
as
To agree with
through the refraction you're looking at, right? Whenever the horizon is mathematically according to the sphere, then it's correct. Is that what you're
Well, I
saying?
mean, if you're looking over a 1 foot atmospheric, at 1 foot observer height in a very refracted condition, you're going to see stuff like this. We understand this. This is not new. I don't know why you guys continue to
so
argue
you
with Black
agree
Swan.
with what I said.
Except you
as
didn't
soon as
explain
it's,
the atmospheric condition, what it's called. You didn't explain it. You
Yeah,
said it's the SC
refraction.
Montreal effect.
Yeah, the SC Montreal effect.
I want to take a damn it. I forget. I want to go on the attack. Brandon, can I play a minute? Can I play a video that's a minute and 30 seconds? 38 seconds to be exact.
Yeah, do you need sound?
Are you there, Brandon?
Yeah, do you need sound?
Say again?
Do you need sound?
Oh, I can just share my screen. Is that how that works?
You can share your screen, yeah. They just have to pull it up for the audience. Yeah, go for it.
All right. Bear with me. Screen share. Horn. Don't
We
worry
are
about
here
that.
live.
How do I find it again? Oh yeah, okay.
Okay, so the purpose of me playing this video is to ask you, NASA Page Show, if you agree or disagree with what the guy says. Are you ready? Test tube. You ready?
Oh.
Hi, I'm Josh Clark, and this is Brain Stuff, and I'm here to answer a very pressing question. Have you ever been standing at the edge of water, say like an ocean, and looked out on the horizon and said, I wonder exactly how far away that horizon is? You know, where the sky meets the sea, that's the horizon. Well, it turns out because the Earth is curved that it depends on where you're standing and how far above water you're standing. Let's say that you are in the water, right? And you're up to, say, your eyes are about 8 inches above the water surface. Well, again, remember the Earth is curved, and despite the ocean seeming flat, they actually curve themselves, which if you've ever really looked at the horizon, it kind of goes like this a little bit, which is pretty cool. But it also goes like this, right? So if your eyes are 8 inches above the water, right then you're about a mile away from that horizon point where the sky meets the ocean as far as you can tell. If you're standing up above water and you're like I am about 6 feet tall, that means your eyes are about 5.5 feet above the water's edge, which means that you're about 3 miles away from the horizon. Isn't that amazing? Going from 8 inches above water, 5.5 feet above water, is the distance between 2 miles between you and the horizon. Mind-blowing, if you ask me. If you like this video, there's plenty more where it came from. You can subscribe to us on this YouTube channel.
We know it's true because the Earth is a globe.
Fuck his channel. Agree or disagree?
Seems he's a drop man.
Is it
agree,
gone?
agree or disagree?
Pate, are you a drop man or a hump man?
Oh God.
NASA.
NASA, come on now.
I'm sorry, I muted myself. Yes, that sounds about correct. And Nessie, you can use either word you want.
Okay,
Excuse me. First of all, answer Elijah. He took the time to play you a video.
Yeah, he accounted. He didn't account for atmospheric conditions, but yeah, his calculations are basically correct.
Oh, so it's not exactly where he says it is because of the math and the Earth curve, then? Because it's not
Because
just
of the
his
atmosphere.
video. There's
Yeah,
about
we're familiar with atmosphere.
there's about like 20 of them that
He did
predate.
explain,
Like,
he
you
did
know.
explain one of the things that can't happen on a flat Earth, though, is that when you get higher, you see further. That doesn't happen on a flat
Shut
Earth.
up.
What's another red herring? But okay.
No, it's not another red herring. It's exactly true.
Of course, you'd be able to see
Not
further.
only
You
that,
dumbass.
I can
No,
point.
you would
I
not be
can
able
point
to
you
see
to
red
a.
herring.
You should
I
be
can
able to see
point
just
you
as
to
Don't know
far
what a
as
red
on the flat
herring
Earth.
is.
I can point you to a PDF with diagrams that literally, I mean, because you have to have a tangent, which is a line, and a tangent point, which is where the horizon would be, in order to have this geometric, Earth measured metric horizon. So where does refraction come in all of this? We need Ja Rule to make sense of all this.
Oh, you're not going to because you're a flat earther. So, I mean, you basically have to explain everything according to the flat Earth. Gotcha.
I
love that. Ask him a question after Elijah.
Bro, I love that answer because if my mama was listening, he would hear this tick and move. It's nice. She'd hear the moonwalk. It's okay. I accept those.
Just whistle past that question, all right? Whistle past red herring straw man.
You're done.
Nor straw man. Sorry.
Now I got a question for you. You agreed that what the video said, there's a drop there, right? At about 3 miles, a man 6 foot tall, there's a drop there, right? That's your model. Agreed?
The drop starts at your feet and continues until you can't see. But yeah, okay.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. Okay, but when somebody
so we only need a level.
Wait.
Can I finish this, guys? If you don't mind,
go for it.
Thank you, Brandon. Thanks, bro. So, Paid, we agreed that at 3 miles, right? You said at your feet, and I agreed with you. But the story goes at 3 miles, we see the boat disappearing, right?
So I'm gonna. Is correct.
That's correct. Okay. So I'm gonna put a scenario to you. I'm on a boat. You're on a boat, the same height. We're about 6 foot off the water of said boat. And we're 6 miles apart. I look at you, you look at me. This is called the twin boat paradox.
Oh,
what
God.
do we see? Let me finish. Let me finish, please. What do the observers see the water? How do you vision the water? Now remember what you said before. At 3 miles, the water drops, right?
Neither of them can see you. You see water all around you, 3 miles around.
Sorry? You say,
Boats are 6
you mean
miles
we
apart,
see
you cannot
flat
see each
water?
other.
What? Be
Sort of
specific,
flat.
please.
You would appear to be sort of flat, I guess.
Welcome to reality. Welcome to flat and level.
Nope, sorry, it's not flat.
Welcome to the real world. Welcome.
If it was more than 6 miles, if it was 6
flat
miles,
Earth,
you should be on flat Earth. You should be able to see the boat at 6 miles.
Why? Why should?
Hold on.
Because there's nothing to get.
Why
in
do
the
you
way.
keep saying that?
There's a
Because there's
problem.
nothing to get in the way.
Wait, I just want to piggyback on what
Do you think it's all atmospheric? Do you think it's dust or what? Why can't you see the boat that's 6 miles away on the flat Earth?
I just want to piggyback on what the other guy was saying when he was asking you these things, because you're saying, well, these guys wouldn't see each other if they're 6 miles apart. Well, the observer in the Black Swan is at least 6 miles from the oil rigs, and there's a little boat there's either a boat or a buoy right in between the 2 oil platforms that you do see. What's up with that, bruh?
It's called. There's a highly refractive day. We pointed that out. Remember the bendy? Remember the bendy boom, the bendy crane?
So
how
you
come that's the
realize
only thing
that
that's bent?
you realize that paid Master Shield with the little experiment we did. You just realized that you admitted that we're on flat and level
No,
water,
actually,
right?
no.
Oh yeah. You don't
no.
realize it, but you will soon
No, you
enough.
don't realize what you're talking about because you cannot visualize 3 dimensions.
Once the twin boat paradox sinks
Not
in,
a twin
bro,
boat, not a paradox.
you're gonna be in for
What's
a
his
loop.
name? Elivica? He reposted it. They're looking general. That's right there. That's how it works.
This is what you envision. You envision 2 boats with their hulls up in the air.
You see what he's
When you're in the water, do you point up? Does your hull?
Are you
point
talking
up?
about that piece of shit that Ebola posted?
Look at the Brandon. If you can, man, post this thing up so the audience can see. This
Did you
is
see
what they believe.
Elivica? Do you see what's his name? I'm sorry, I can messing up your name. Elivica.
Elijah.
Is this what you believe,
No.
Paid?
I'm looking in general. What are you posting?
I'm getting it up.
I see a drawing. I see 2 drawings.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
2 drawings in general. Ilabaka.
Yeah, I see 2 drawings.
Yep, that's what you see.
Yeah, I see 2 drawings.
Yeah, that's
So I
correct.
want the audience to understand he's envisioning 2 boats on either side of a ball, huge boats, and the hulls are pointing in the air. I would imagine, how many degrees would you guys say? 30, 40?
You understand this is a picture?
Unbelievable.
You understand
Yes,
this
that's
is
a drawing.
picture and the curve is much more slight, right? Gotcha?
Yeah,
No.
Are you unable to visualize that this is a picture?
But
That
you
is a
agree with
drawing.
me.
Are you not willing to see that this is a picture exaggerated so that we can show stuff? Or do you think this is
So,
real?
okay, so you envision a tangent going out
Do you
into
actually
space.
think that the Earth has? Do you actually think that the Earth has like a 3-inch radius?
Do you actually believe that
3-inch
the
diameter?
Earth is actually showing things around the curve?
If you get higher, yes.
Look, you agree
high?
that the water is flat between the 2 boats. End of story.
No, it's not flat.
Welcome
Sorry.
to reality.
It appears to be
Welcome
flat.
to 3D space. Welcome
Why?
to
You don't
Euclidean
understand it, you moron.
geometry.
Why did you appear
No,
to be
right
flat?
here. This is how it works.
No, you don't understand it, you moron.
That's a drawing.
It's a drawing of how
Drawing.
it works. Correct. A drawing. It's. I mean,
Right.
if you can understand the drawings
This
illustrate
is not,
reality,
do you not
then
understand that it doesn't represent
So you
reality?
have both. You have both hump and draw.
5 angels, $10. The far left and far right of the center focal point must be much longer than the center focal point. How does looming realign the left and right to the center focal point with perfect clarity? Interesting. I think I'd probably have to have you explain that to me a little bit more, but that is interesting. Yeah, right at it. If you're in Discord, write in there a little bit or DM me. I'm curious. A little more context would be helpful. Thank you, though. Thank you very much. And I missed one earlier from Gordzilla. Thank you, Gordzilla. Just want to make sure I thank you before I ended the show, which I am going to do right now. It's 8:15. Boy, did the ball Earth take a bashing tonight, in my opinion. Just embarrassing. Embarrassing. That was a fun time. So I appreciate everybody stopping in. Hope you enjoyed. Tomorrow is Friday Night Fights. Even less moderation than normal. And that's always fun. So that is at 5:05 Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you then. Have a good night, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye. My outro's not working.